to do and go and do that. You, because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Aren't you? And you know that I know that you know it's the truth. Come on, get up. Do you, please? Thank you. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Wait for it. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Why are people wasting money on strippers when you can get me, although my ankles need a bit of work, plus I can sing happy birthday? Do you know what I mean? £10 deals, get at my mother. Not that she's going to do the stripping, she's my agent. But yeah, sorry, I went off on a tangent there and I introduced the whole show with a happy birthday, but you're going to understand why. Firstly, hello world, I hope you're doing well. Big shout out to the 1 or 2 people that are listening over in the States, man. Oi, oi, love ya. Hope you're doing well over there, man. This is another episode of the Do You Show. Again, the Do You Show is a simple concept. I sit down and have uncensored, free-form discussions with people that are doing what they love in order to help more of us do the same. I want to find out how you worked out what you love and how you've gone about doing it, because hats off, man. Hats off, hats off, oh, hats off. Rewind. Happy birthday to ya. Sorry about that, guys. I just got a bit carried away, but there is a reason for me singing happy birthday, which you're going to understand in a minute. It's because of the guest that's on today's show. Oh my gosh. Who's that? Old school MC. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just showing my age here, man. Back in the garage days, boy. But yes, this guy's a friend of mine, and I tell you what, I have been wanting to sit down with this man, lock him in a room, and hit him with curious questions, I'd say for the last 10 years. 10 years strong. I've always been admiring his hustle, and I was like, I'd love to sit down and speak to this guy, find out how he works, literally how he operates on a day-to-day basis, and just learn, man. His name is Kojo. Kojo the comedian. If you're a London-based head and you're big into comedy, especially black comedy, you're gonna know Kojo. He's one of, in my opinion, the people that created platforms for a lot of the talent we see today. Whether you've seen him do that or not, believe me, I've seen this guy from Comedy Corks. Oh my gosh. There you go, Kojo. I'm slapping my own face. Oh my gosh, it's hurting. Corks Wine Bar. Kojo's comedy club at Corks Wine Bar is where it all started. It's the first comedy club I've ever been to in my life. I used to work at Nike Town, and every weekend I'd bring the whole team down and we'd just sit there, laugh, make new friends, and just have a whale of a time. So much memories were built in Kojo's comedy club, which we talk about in the interview. People that have passed through that stage: Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Dane Baptiste, who you see coming up on a circuit now, and lots of other comics, including my friend Jamie Howard, who I'm going to interview as well. So yeah, it's been an amazing platform, man. Kojo, to me, is the ultimate doer. He's the one guy that if he has an idea, he's not going to talk about it, he's not going to discuss it. Before you know it, it's done. He gets up. If he has this guy would walk through the rain, butt naked, with vegetables on his head, crying just to get to where he needs to go. Even if 6 men are trying to hold on to his ankles, Kojo will do that. He's done a lot, from stand-up, radio, theatre, writing a book coming out soon, working on films. He's been on Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out. So to say this guy has achieved some stuff is an understatement, man. And the reason why, people, I'm singing happy birthday at the beginning of the show is because today, and let me check my phone, I don't want to get this wrong, don't want to get sued. I don't think I can get sued. Even if I did get sued, I've got no money for bail. No one in my family's got money for bail. Collectively, our whole family hasn't got money to get me out of a cell. Let's have a look at this. One sec. Wednesday the 21st. I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday the 21st of January 2015 AD. It's Kojo's 52nd birthday, and I'm putting this out today to celebrate that. This interview, by the way, was recorded at Choice FM Studio. So Kojo invited me down to do it in his space. I took my equipment there, and like an egg, I went and brought the wrong dynamic mic. So I was like, Coach, I don't know what to do. Do you have a spare one? He goes, no, let's just use the studio, because Kojo's a G like that. So I recorded this episode at Global Radio, Choice FM Studios. Not Choice FM, sorry, Capital XTRA. Don't sue me. We know I've got no money for bail. Capital Extra Studios, and it goes on for like nearly 2 hours, but it's a deep conversation. We touch everything, man. If you are inspired, ladies and gentlemen, please do forward this on. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Reuben Christian. You can check out my stuff at reubenchristian.com, Reuben, Christian spelt like the religion.com, and all my social handles are /Reuben Christian, other than Instagram, which is Reuben Christian 1. I don't think I'm the biggest bad man. There was just no Reuben Christian, so I added a 1 on, okay? Thank you very much. To check out more of these, like I said, reubenchristian.com. No, SoundCloud. Oh my gosh, Reuben, man, just calm down on the coffee. SoundCloud.com/Reuben, Reuben -Christian. If you were inspired, please forward it on, because Kojo's story is uplifting. Thank you very much. Let's bathe together. Find out what you're here to do and go and do that. Because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Yo, Coach, first and foremost, bro, thank you very much for coming on my show.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
No, bro, it's beautiful. Well, taking my show out of my mum's attic and bringing me to Capital FM Studios, bro. I wore my special pants today. You know?
Do you know what? Yeah. You know what? Maybe I just feel comfortable in a studio setting.
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable in your own home turf? You feel more confident, so you're a bit worried about coming down to Stratford?
Not at all.
You've got out of the hood now, so it makes no sense to go back.
Madman. Yeah, I wish I could get out of the hood. I'm just on the periphery. I'm on the borderlines.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, the hood won't ever leave you, will it?
Of course not. Like, it stays there. It's part of you.
It's part of your DNA, bro.
Wherever you go, you take it with you. You're a product of it.
Yeah.
So no matter how much money you make or how successful you get, you've come from that, so it's always in you.
Yeah, no, real talk, bro. And you know what? Being someone that's been a fan of what you do, and not just what you put out, but who you are, what you stand for, this means a lot to me.
Oh, respect, brother.
To come and sit here and see you with the headphones on, with 7 LCD
You need to put yours on as well.
Back.
You need to put yours on as well.
Which ones? These ones?
Yeah. Can you hear yourself?
I can't hear nothing, bro.
You can't hear nothing?
And look how small my head is compared to the headphones. This is why I don't wear headphones. They're too big.
Let's see. Can you hear something now?
No, I can't hear nothing, bro.
Underneath, is there like a...
there is a switch.
Are they stuck? Are they plugged in?
Well, it is plugged in. Why, am I too loud?
No. I just want to make sure that you can hear yourself. That's all.
I don't even want to hear myself.
All right, that's fine. You're good.
You, bro.
Yeah, all right.
Can I take them
Yeah. He's getting nervous. Come on.
No, do you know what it is? No, I don't. I just can't hear through the headphones.
Okay, that's fine.
These.
Hello?
Go again?
Hello?
Yeah, these work, bro.
Oh, they work. Okay, cool. Yeah, put those on.
All right. Oh my God, this is how I kind of sound sexy, though.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Putting it out there.
Shit, let them know, Coach. Let them know, bro. But yeah, I know you listened to one of the shows I put out, which is Mo's, and you gave me some advice like, to structure my talks, which I find hard to do because in my life, when I normally speak to people, it's all over the gap.
Yeah.
So, bro, I've actually attempted to structure this interview.
Do you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is like the reason why I said that to you is because somebody once said it to me. It's the difference between being somebody who can do a talk show and being somebody who can make people laugh.
Yeah.
I can make people laugh.
Okay.
If I want to do a presenter, I have to be able to formulate my words. I have to be able to structure myself. I can go all day and blab, or I can go in all in freestyle and whatever.
Yeah.
But what's accepted in the industry is when I put something on that screen, can you just do that?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I know you can do all the boom, 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 but are you able just to do what I've asked you to do kind of thing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how you train yourself in terms of like presenting and etc. So whenever I listen to anything, I'm always going to listen to it from that perspective now because it's kind of stuck in my head. So it's just a little bit of advice from you.
No, thank you very much, bro. I mean, I would have asked you for advice whether you threw it out there or not anyway, because I'm just, do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to grow.
No, that's cool.
But you're talking about the industry having rules, yeah? Do you, and I know you've been the person that has done your own thing from early.
Yeah.
Do you follow rules now that you're a little bit more mainstream than you were, let's say, 10 years ago? Or are you just totally rebellious against it all?
Do you know what it is? I like to know the rules so I can break them when I feel necessary.
Yeah.
I think if you have the attitude of, I'm just going to do my own thing 24/7, then you will be on your own 24/7.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of ignorant.
Yeah.
I think, it's, you got to be able to walk into a room and see how you could decorate it.
Yeah.
Because everybody will walk into it differently and have different visions. So for me, I think it's always important to know the rules. And sometimes you don't need to break the rules. The rules might work for you.
Yeah.
But then if they don't work for you, how are you going to make them work for you? And that's how you tailor it.
Yeah. Did you learn that through trial and error? Because you're quite hard-headed and you've always kind of done it your own way from what I knew of you. Does that wisdom come with age?
I don't think it comes with age. I just think it comes with experience. I mean, you can be 49 years old and done nothing in your life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make you wise.
Yeah.
I feel like, you could be 12 years old and been through so much, and so I genuinely feel as though experience gives you your knowledge. And it's up to you how much things you want to experience out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's the only way you'll learn.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. I mean, you're not learning anything new if it's something that you can master. So for me, it's like if anything that is a bit uncomfortable for me, the worst thing I'm going to do is learn from it.
Yeah. So when you move forward and when you grow, do you like have a list of fears that you want to attack? Stuff that you're kind of a little bit worried about doing in order to grow as a person, as a personality? I do. I say that because I do. There's loads of things I'll look at someone and I'll be like, you know what? Shit, they can do that. I would never dream of doing that. But just because of that, I'm going to attempt to do it, even if I publicly fail, which I've done loads of times.
Yeah, I mean,
that's who I am.
We're always going to fail. We're always going to fail and we're always going to succeed. But it depends what success is to you and what's failure to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What's success to you, bro?
Success to me is doing things that people tell me I can't do.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it, really. I mean, some people will look at it and go...
people must have told you a whole load of things you can't do, bro, because you've been churning shit out.
Yeah, but I think it's things from your teachers in school, from your parents sometimes, your own family, from friends who think you shouldn't be doing that, from the industry.
Yeah.
And I don't believe I've done anything that I couldn't do.
Yeah.
One of my things is knowledge and learning. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody asks me a question that I don't know the answer to, I don't get embarrassed if I've never been taught it.
Yeah. So you're not scared to ask questions?
No, I'm not scared. Never, because I want to know.
Yeah.
How am I going to... One thing that we do, from my background anyway, is we act like we know a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that's the most stupidest thing. That's the number one way to make yourself look stupid. Right? Just say, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's no harm in not knowing something that somebody hasn't taught you.
Yeah.
I'd be embarrassed if I'm supposed to know what 1 + 1 is and someone's taught me that and I don't know it.
Yeah.
But if no one's ever taught me, it's not embarrassing to me. Yeah. So I really want to learn and I really want to know as much as possible. Yeah. But sometimes you can also know too much. For example, just to go left on you, I'm a massive football fan, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And
Liverpool.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, soccer academies and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they're necessary.
Yeah.
Unless they're teaching you life skills.
What, soccer academy for the athletes?
For the footballers.
But because they need to learn at the academy.
But you know what it is? I think the only thing you need to learn to be a footballer is life skills. Because you're either good or you ain't.
Yeah. But surely you've got to nurture your skills in an environment.
But I think the Brazilians do that, but they don't. You hear them playing on the beach, you hear them coming from the streets. That's where the Ronaldos are from. They're not from academies.
Yeah.
Academies is when you get a Frank Lampard who, if you wrote a book on how to be a footballer, Frank Lampard can do it all. Like, that is it. How he takes a free kick is text. How he headers the balls, text. Arrival. But that can't, soccer academies can't teach you instinct.
Yeah.
That's how you get your Suarez. That's how you get your Ronaldos.
Yeah.
That's how you get your Messis. They're from the streets.
Yeah.
They don't sit in the room saying, okay, this is how you play football. That's how you get Michael Owen.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
The football reference is going over my
head. But to bring it back to the point that I'm making is, for me, I like to just be natural.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like I can...
Agreed.
I can attack my fears when I see fit and I think, now's the right time. But also, I just like to be natural. Let me fly.
Yeah.
I will come back with the results you need.
Yeah.
But if you tell me I must do it this way or I must do it that way, you're harnessing what makes me me.
Yeah. You're putting barriers on your creativity.
There you go. Exactly. Exactly. So I like to be free, and if the opportunity comes to attack my fears, then I'll do that rather than, okay, I haven't done this, so let me do this.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. Real talk, man. Before we carry on, I've written a couple of things that you have done. Yeah. That I'm just going to sit in front of your face and give you a round of applause just to make me feel happy, bro.
Okay.
So according to my research, and this is probably like half of what you've done, wilding out, Nick Cadden last year, just gone out now, right?
Yeah.
Above Love at the theatre.
Above Romance, yeah.
Above Romance.
Yep,
Why have I got Above Love here?
It sounds better.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you, bro. You backed it with me. All love, bro.
It sounds better.
Above Love.
Above Love.
Man, above Romance, Above Love. There's a reason I wrote that, bro. Do you know what? Anyway. Wasteman Diaries, Almost Famous, which is your stand-up tour, which went to DVD. No, that was a recent one. That was a recent one.
Yeah.
Flipping hell. Capital XTRA, which is where you worked for the last
5 years.
Holy smokes, bro. Live and Kicking DVD. I was there. I'm not too sure if I was there for the recording, but I was there. I bought the DVD online as well.
Yeah.
Big shout out to that. Back in the day, CBBC with Reggie Yates, MTV Base, Fresh Prince of Hackney, The Knot, It's a Lot, NBC's Last Man Standing, Comedy Funhouse, which was rolling for what, 10 plus years?
Yeah.
And West End Girls' new pilot, which has just gone out this week, bro.
Thank you, man.
No, it's all right, bro. It's all right. And I don't know if you remember, I used to come to the Funhouse back in the day with Rog. And you know what?
With the whole of Nike Town.
No, with the whole of Nike Town, bro. People weren't even in on their shifts, but they were turning up to the Funhouse, do you know what I mean? And getting caught by their managers who were also in the Funhouse. Funny. And what you've done was like, that was a pinnacle part of our lives. That cemented, I don't know, for us growing up and culture. I just want to thank you for that, bro.
No,
I met a load of people in there, people that I maybe shouldn't have, people that I should have, and that's what I think. That's the first time Dane Baptiste got up on stage. I was there that time. So massive, man. How long was that running for?
That was running for, I mean, at Corks, we was there for like a good 7 years straight. Yeah. And then we went to Hackney Central for a little while. We went to Metro for a little while. It was just like, you know, I mean, in all honesty, I've done all those things that you've said, but that's the best thing I've ever done. That's the best thing I've ever. That's the best thing I ever will do.
Really? Why do you say that? Because
back to the point of instinct.
Yeah.
Lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
All I knew was how to make it work. I didn't know.
Even before you started, or you had an idea of how the Comedy Funhouse will work?
I mean, you know, when I get an idea in my head, I strip it to the basics.
Okay.
Meaning? I strip it to the basics, meaning audience, microphone, how much to get in.
Chairs. Not even chairs. Fuck it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know, you was there from day one, so you know that it wasn't even facing the same way for a little while. You remember? I remember that. It was facing the DJ box at first. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, I just thought, let's switch the chairs around. Yeah. We had an aisle now. Yeah. We had a bit of a stage. We had even like a little VIP spot on the right for little birthday bookings and that. Like all of a sudden, just switching the chairs gave you so much. Yeah. It was like I was learning while I was doing it. My reasons for doing it was, this is post Room McCoy, A-Force, all those shows. Like, if you weren't on those, you weren't getting bookings and stuff like that, the Hackney Empires. So how am I going to...
for those guys?
I did it for people like me.
Meaning? Who?
Meaning people like me who hadn't had no TV credits and stuff like that. Okay. Like, a lot of theatres used to be sold out because of Room McCoy name. Yeah. And then you had your Curtis Walkers, your Felix Dexters, your Felicity Ethnics, like household legends, you know what I mean, in terms of the black community. Yeah. But then there was myself, there was Mr. C, there was Quincy.
And you guys were young at the time, right?
Of course, like, you know, and young is not necessarily an age in comedy.
Yeah. In terms of comedy based.
Yeah, so we had no fan base, we had nothing. We had jokes, that's all we had. But I feel as though...
Jokes and spirit.
And at that time as well, I think there was a lot of togetherness with that collective. So for me, it was more about, okay, all I wanted to do was have somewhere you can come and see me every week. I didn't care about everyone else. It wasn't like, oh, let's get together and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I think that's what it turned out to be. Yeah. But I think, you know, it's like that for me was what Def Comedy Jam was for America.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't on television at the time.
Yeah.
It was just a place where these are the comedians right now. Yeah. We all love the same music. We all love the same raves. We all love the same fashion. Yeah. This is a way to come and express ourselves. You don't have to be MCs anymore. You can come and do this. Even at some stage, we had poetry. We had poets come up there.
Don't have to be.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I understand
when you're
what
a
you're
young
saying.
black man,
Yeah, you think that's the only option?
that's the only option. That's where that's the only thing you see success in. Even now, that's the only thing you really see money, success in, and the sports, of course. Yeah.
J. Cole talks about that in his new album. So
Right, see, do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's all you believe is going to allow you to be successful. So I created something and made it cool because I think comedy was always there way before me and will be after me.
Yeah.
But what I think we done at the Funhouse, we made it sexy.
Yeah.
We had girls that are coming down there. We had a DJ.
Yeah.
We had comedians from America, Def Comedy Jam that, bruv, like, you know, you see on DVDs and you say, Rod, I'm sitting next to them. You had Chris Rock walk into the room. You had Dave Chappelle walk into the room. B2K were in town. They came down and watched the show.
Yeah.
ATL at the time, Marcus Houston, like Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
To a little wine bar called Corks. Like, for me, those were the moments that I didn't even know what I was doing, where I was like, wow, like, looking back, it's absolutely amazing, but it was organic. If I'd gone into it, okay, all experience, I'm going to do this, and boom, 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 it would be more, it wouldn't have had the
it can't be orchestrated, something like that.
Yeah, it was just
real from
organic.
your heart. It was real talk.
Yeah, I mean, I made people come in and look at a screen. A screen, a live comedy show, and you're happy to come and look at a screen.
They had nowhere else to sit, bro.
But my point to you is,
they
try that
to be
now.
in the venue, the energy.
Yeah, try it now. You can't do that now. Like a live comedy show and I'm watching a screen. I've left my house to go and watch a screen. Like that's silly.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
you wanted to be there. It was all part of it. I could take that comedy club and move it into a beautiful room.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
You had pool going on in the back.
Yeah,
pool going on in the back.
I was getting beaten by women.
This is what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? Like you had
in pool.
you had like you had blind date game show that
got me up on there, bro.
Do you know what I mean? And with all of that stuff that was going on in the comedy club, led us to theme parties. It was like I was building a community of people that I didn't even recognize. People said to me, "Oh, you should get all these mailing lists." Didn't want all these mailing lists. I wasn't worried about all of that. I was just focused on, okay, I've got you lot here. Let's go and have some fun in a party setting.
Yeah.
And what was amazing about the party setting was it felt like the comedy club because you kind of knew people, whether you had spoken to them or not. You'd seen each other before, so you never felt like girls. I remember would come into parties and be like, they'll just come out saying, "Oh, this party was sick," because there's guys in there like there are guys, but I know these guys. I'm comfortable around these guys. These guys can come and talk to me. I'm not gonna have no ego or attitude. It was love across the board, and I feel like that is why I would say I don't think I could do anything big. I can do things bigger than that. Yeah. But
in
personally,
terms of how
to
mainstream measure success, you can do things bigger. Yeah.
Of course, but for me, you will never hear a better story than Corks. Never.
That's crazy, bro. Like, so when you started that off, so you say there was no plan, it was all kind of natural, but was the aim with the show to start your personal brand? Did you know your brand would be
brand? What's brand?
Shit.
What's brand? Do you know what? The honest truth is, I'm a 20-year-old boy from Hackney. I'm working with Reggie Yates, who's like at the time like one of my, even now we're still like really close. Yeah. But at the time, me and Reggie starting to work together. Yeah. We go to New York, we see a comedy club, we lose our minds. Yeah, we lose our minds. When we went to New York, about 20.
Okay. So you just both went over there, for what, holiday?
No, to be honest, I was about 22.
Okay.
About 22, yeah? Because Cork started in 2004, so I'm 24 then. Yeah. So it was like 22, I was like, wow, like me and Reggie went to New York for like a weekend. And I was like, what? We went to a comedy club. Madness happened. Madness. We was like, this is it. When I see something, I know how it's going to work. Yeah. I know how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you just feel it.
No one can't come and tell me, write it down. Can't do all of that. Yeah. But I know how it's going to work. Yeah. So we came back and then I said to Reg, you know what? I need to. This is what's missing at home. Yeah. Don't have nothing on a regular basis. Yeah. Everything's big show. Nothing on a regular basis where you just nobody ever planned to be there every week. Nobody. But it was so addictive that it and what I loved about what I did was I hardly advertised who was on because I didn't want it to be about the comedians. It doesn't matter who's on.
Okay, so that was a conscious decision.
Because
we didn't know. We'd have to ring you or text you and find out.
Because my thing is, I'm selling comedy. I'm selling a good night. I'm not selling names. I'm not selling names because unless it was like a Def Comedy Jam, then I'd be like, okay, we got someone coming in. Like I've flown them in. I've got them in a hotel and all that other stuff. I still I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Some of them stayed in my crib. Like Kevin Hart stayed in my house. I don't know what I'm doing. So for me, I'm just bringing these Americans in and just paying flight money and all that.
You were paying flight money.
Yes, all of that. Like. I was doing all that. I just wanted them here at my comedy club.
So wait a minute, you're paying for flight money, but there was no business plan. There was no one telling you what you're doing with the money.
No.
Were you always on the up, or were you on deficit sometimes? If you don't mind me asking.
Of course. No. That comedy club, you could make. I remember, like, I'm 24, so a good night would be like I made £250 or I made £300. Profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, after paying everybody and all that other stuff, like that's what, and we're charging £5 to get in, nothing else.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, okay, well, because it's every week, I can go 3 weeks without making money because it's not about the money.
Yeah,
it's about when people come in here.
Yeah,
I want them to say, I had the most amazing 3 hours, and I need that feeling again. There wasn't no after party and all of that shit. It was comedy club. I laughed my ass off. Whatever drama I'm going through in my life was forgotten about for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Thanks to this guy. People would come in there and leave with a television. I'd go and buy a TV just to do a game show to make people go like get involved.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the blind date. I remember when we were doing the blind date, everyone at first was like, I do know. But it became a great part of the evening because I remember the first time we didn't do it, the room went, and I was like, wow, this is people that, if you ask them to do this, fuck, I ain't doing that, man. Fuck those shit. This not like that, man, going up the bed. I had goons on stage.
Yeah. Roadman.
I had Roadman saying, you know what, I can let my guard down around this guy because he's got me. He's not going to embarrass me and all of that stuff. It was fun. We was all growing up together.
Yeah.
That's what we was doing. And for me, it's like, what I'm realizing now is there's a whole generation of young people that was never there. Yeah. They don't know nothing about Corks.
So their first introduction of Kojo is on air.
Probably radio. Yeah. Probably MTV, like various different reasons. But for me, it's like, you can talk about comedians now. They don't know nothing about Def Comedy Jam in America. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole
black comics over here.
No, I'm talking about like comedians like fans of comedy in America. Yeah. You have to go back to YouTube and check out Def Comedy Jam because you missed it. Yeah. You weren't part of that era. It's an era, and that's what Corks was. That's what Kojo's Comedy Funhouse was. Yeah. It was an era. Yeah. And even now people still say bring it back. Yeah. But then do you know what? It will never be the same. The only way I'd ever bring it back if Corks was still there.
You'd take it back to Corks.
I would never. It is now offices.
It's offices.
It's not a nightclub. It's not even a nightclub. It's weird because the moment we decided that was it,
they lost everything.
And we was keeping them going.
Yeah, no, real talk.
We was keeping them going. And I love Laura Clark and her husband Mick because...
Is that the owners?
Yeah, because I tell you one thing.
Take a chance.
Taking a chance is one thing, but it's very hard. I don't think any promoter has had something longer than me in terms of a promotion. Yeah. Like,
especially if it's weekly as well.
This is what I'm trying to say. Add in the weekly thing. Yeah. Yeah? Clubs might still be. The clubs don't even have names as long as 7 years anymore. Yeah. Yeah? To have something 7 years every week. I'm a young black man from Hackney. Don't really know what I'm doing. 2 white people said, you know what? We're going to co-sign this. Yeah. We're going to align. There's times when it was empty in there. For whatever reason. Never complained to me. Never said, the bar spend. None of that. They showed me love. And I will never, ever be able to say thank you enough to them because I was just young, naive, didn't really know what I was doing, and they allowed me to find myself.
Experiment.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And because of those blessings, I was able to get Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and all these other people down there. Do you know what I mean? It's something that you really sit down and look back at. It was an amazing moment in comedy.
Talk, man. Taking it back, bro. Comedy itself. When did you realize that's what you want to do with your life? Full stop.
I was actually at a soccer academy playing football.
At an academy, though. You've been so against it.
No, because I mean, when you're young, it's like it was School of Excellence. I don't know
Okay.
if you remember School of Excellence. School
Okay,
of
I've
Excellence.
heard of School of
School of
Excellence.
Excellence was like where you'd go, like they'd pick. Michael Owen was in the same age group as me, like a lot of people, like
Yeah.
Paolo Vanazza, like a whole bunch of people who went on to do pro. At the time, I was at QPR, so I was at the School of Excellence learning. It's basically where they pick people and then you go into your teams, and
Okay.
it's the best of the best.
Okay.
And the first time ever we had a game, I spent all summer getting in.
How old were you?
I was about 16.
16.
Yeah.
So football was the dream initially.
All day. I mean, you follow my Twitter now. I talk more about that than anything else.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. That was my first love. And basically, to cut long story short, I had a game. I spent all summer getting in.
Yeah.
Got in, and I went carnival.
What?
First game of the season, I went carnival. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go carnival quick, yeah. And
Go carnival quick.
Yeah, we go carnival quick, yeah, and then leave early.
Yeah.
No one don't leave early.
You
We're not
don't
when you're
go
16.
carnival
You're
quick,
gassed.
bro.
Yeah, you're gassed. So basically, I decided then, I mean, they made me pay. They put me in the reserves. So it was I played maybe 3 first team games that year.
Yeah. What do you mean they made you pay?
They made me pay as in they didn't put me in the first team.
Okay, they made you pay for going carnival.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking
course.
about actual money.
Because no, not money.
Teach you a lesson.
They taught me a lesson because I should have been at training. I should
So
have been at
not
the
in
game.
your carnival ruined your football career.
Ruined my football career. But
You know them lot.
I need to spark them.
Back end, both of them.
But they also
Yeah.
Notting Hill Carnival also allowed me to my discipline, because I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I would never ever make this mistake ever again, ever. I would never take a situation that I've been working all my life for to have a lack of discipline like I did. Yeah, you could say I was young, but I was a very intelligent 16-year-old. I wasn't stupid. I knew what I was doing. But it was my decision to go and with my boys and all of them. Do you know what I mean? And you get caught up in that when you're young.
Well, do you regret this decision? Looking at where you are now.
No. I had to get up in the morning, train, learn, and be amazing as I could be to play football.
Yeah. So that's
I was born to do what I'm doing.
Real talk. I agree, bro. So in the football academy, did that kind of teach you discipline and focus? Because you have a hell of a lot of that.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? It's just I hate failure. Yeah. And that was failure
to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably the only time in my life that I failed.
Okay.
Because it was because of my own fault. It wasn't because somebody said I wasn't good enough or somebody just didn't give me an opportunity.
Yeah.
That was all on me. I had no one to blame. I remember crying because they wouldn't put me in the first team, and my family was getting the brunt of it, and had attitudes and started misbehaving at college and all that shit. And then it was like, you got yourself to blame. But I knew I couldn't blame anyone else. That's why I started doing stupid stuff. So for me,
stupid stuff after that.
Yeah, I just started
You rebel against yourself.
just doing nonsense as most teenagers do, but things I had no business doing. I wasn't enjoying football anymore. So my aunt
Because you
spoke to
were
me.
in a demoted team?
Yeah, I was in the B side to the reserves. So I'm still there, training and all that, but you're not getting a look in. You're not getting a look in. And you get a look in when someone else ain't injured or whatever, and then you might do well, but then your confidence is gone. You're not enjoying it.
Yeah, you're not even playing football.
Yeah, like literally, like I stopped enjoying it, and then also as well, like I was hanging around a lot of people who knocked my confidence, because I used to play with older people.
Yeah.
So you're the youngest, innit? And they knock your confidence and tell you you're not even that good and all the other
They
stuff.
blatantly say you're shit.
Yeah, come on, you know how it is in the man. People don't hold their tongue.
But real talk. But if you're the best of the best, surely they can't keep hammering and
But
saying
you're
you're
not.
shit.
But you're not. Like I wasn't as good as them.
Yeah,
but I wasn't as grown as them. That they're way older than me. They're 3 years older than me. We're talking. So it's that fear of respect a little bit as well. Do you know what I mean? Where you shut your mouth, innit? Like, oh, you don't answer them back because they're older than you, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of that was going on. So basically, to get back to your point, I went to America. I decided, you know what? I always liked teaching. That was always my background thing.
So at this age was now, this is still younger
18,
than 20, 18, yeah?
18 now. So I went and did Camp America.
Yeah.
Camp America was working with like young people out in America. I went to Minnesota, and that was when I grew up. It's the first time I was really away from home. in a whole other country by myself.
You decided to go there because football was just pissing you off.
Football, I wasn't enjoying football anymore, and the opportunity came to work with kids in America.
Who presented the opportunity?
My aunt.
Okay.
And one of my older cousins had done it, but he'd done it in Canada.
Yeah.
And I always remember him saying it was an amazing experience, and that's where he grew up. Yeah. He really became a man then. So then I was like, you know what? I wanted to go and do that. So I went and did it 2 years in a row. And
what seduced you to go, if you don't mind me asking, bruv? Was it the fact that you could learn and grow, or was it the fact that you could just go over there and just have
I've always been fascinated with America.
Oh, okay.
My mum's always been fascinated with America.
Is that because you consume a lot of media from America, maybe?
I just saw American kids as cool kids.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess some part of my head, I thought if I go there, I'll be going to American school. I'll be going to,
you'll be an American.
Yeah, I'll be a part of that vibe. And it wasn't that. It was just working with kids. But it was. But what I realized is that how much that no matter, Americans are very structured.
Okay.
There's a clear path. It's very hard for you to fail if you're within a path. Like if you go to a youth club.
Yeah.
Like a YMCA that they do out there is avenues for you to be successful.
Okay, so they create them and they bring the young people.
There's a reason why America are the best at most things, because there's systems in place. Even if you're homeless, broke, or whatever, there's still platforms for you to go through, like the YMCA, etc. And they teach you only about greatness. You don't get taught how to come second and all the other stuff. They only teach you how to become great.
Yeah.
It's a mentality. It's not an opportunity or things just fall into place. It's a mentality.
Which you think Britain lacks?
Of course we do.
Why?
Because,
in your opinion,
because there's no real sense of diversity here in this country.
They don't embrace it. Totally.
No, if I'm a young 5-year-old black boy.
Yeah.
Who can I really look up to that's not a musician?
That's not in entertainment.
Yeah. There's not in entertainment. Who can I really look up to and say, I want to be that person?
In the UK?
In the UK.
Other than entertainment and sports...
So the fact that even if there is one, you're struggling.
Yeah, no, real talk.
And the whole point is at a 5-year-old age already, you can't see that person. Andy Peters.
He's gone. He's
but I'm saying, like at 5 years old already, you can't see a hero that looks like you.
Okay, understood.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand that.
So, fast forward, that's my motivation.
Yeah.
I want to be that person.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm in entertainment, but I think it's what I want more is what I stand for, what I represent, and also that lack of maybe guidance that I would have liked. I found my way. You can find your way. Do you know what I mean? That's more of what I want people to take from me. I could be here all day reading you private messages that people send me.
Yeah, I can. Do you keep a gratitude list?
Mm-mm.
It's too big.
Because I don't even. It's like once I get commended for something, thank you very much. I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way.
You're not gonna bathe in it because you know there's a lot more for you to do.
Yeah,
right? I get that.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not here to take thank yous or congratulations. It comes with what I'm doing and I'm grateful for them, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm not here for you to go, oh, Kojo, big up.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because there's a lot of deepness happening in this world that I'm unhappy with. Like most of whenever you see me do anything creatively, it's come out of frustration. You will never see me cussing or moaning really. And if you do, it's because I'm really upset. But other than that, I think because I know the way the world works and who's in control, and it makes me angry at who's in control and uncomfortable, and I see a lot of unfairness. You know, I'm somebody who doesn't make excuses. So when I'm still frustrated...
Shit needs to change.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It gets to that point. Sometimes, I look at people like Kanye West and Azealia Banks and listen to how they speak sometimes. And the
And
fact
what
of the
they're
matter
putting
is,
out.
the fact of the matter is 95% of people will look at that and see it as aggressive energy because it's loud. It's not spoken how you want to digest it. But if you're listening, you're learning. So you can't always judge somebody. And then, they always say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Very true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can miss what's being said just because you don't like how it's being said to you.
Yeah.
That's on you then. It's not on anyone else.
Yeah.
If that person feels that's the only way they can deliver their message, that's on you if you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So they know what's going on in the industry. They see what's going on. Their delivery isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I listen.
Yeah. It's their truth, man.
It's their truth.
Yeah.
And no one should be able to tell you when to get upset, and no one should be able to tell you when to be happy, kind of thing. You walk past people, go, "Oh, smile, man."
No.
I'm not even vexed. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even vexed. Like, it's like if you don't go like this, smiling, big T, you're upset about something. So
especially you as well, bro.
yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's weird because
You're majority teeth.
but you see, you say that, but I
From
feel
what I see of you.
I feel as though Eddie Caddy's teeth.
Maybe you're right, yeah. But remember, when I see you in performing mode, working mode, for the most part. I haven't spent that much time kicking back with you.
Yeah.
Like now,
Yeah,
for example.
yeah.
So I only know that part of you. But I remember a conversation with you back in the day. You were with a girl years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. I was like, "You still with a girl?" This is years ago. You was like, "No." I was like, "Why, Coach?" And you were like, "Oh, because she said I wasn't as funny as when I was on stage. She wanted me to be the same person."
Yeah.
Now, do you still experience that a lot? Not necessarily in relationships, like intimate relationships, but just in
Oh
people
yeah, I
in
mean,
general.
comedians will tell you that all day, and it will never stop.
So you're not necessarily the same guy that you are on stage.
No,
is that a
because
heightened version of you?
do you know what it is? It's my Sasha Fierce.
Okay, see.
It's who I can be without apologizing.
Yeah. Can't you be yourself without apologizing anyway?
I think
It's debatable, right?
I think when I'm on stage, it's 9% of me.
Yeah.
I can get away with a lot more as Kojo the comedian.
Yeah.
But I can't say certain things on radio.
Yes.
If I tweet something, someone's mum's watching or someone's kids
Because
watching.
now you have a bit more of a responsibility.
There you go.
And do you believe you have a bit more of a
I
responsibility?
think responsibility isn't a choice you have.
You're blessed.
Because a lot of people like Rihanna, for example, say, I'm 23 years old, I'm not anybody's role model. But that's not your decision. You became a role model when you wanted to be successful and have the success that you've had.
And being a public eye.
Yeah, so it's not your choice whether you are a role model.
Yeah.
It's not your choice anymore because you're in the game because you saw somebody else doing it and they were a role model to you.
Yeah. But you still have a choice to act how you want to act, right?
Of course, and that's what I believe makes you human.
Yeah.
So I don't apologize for my mistakes because I'm a human being.
Ever? When was the last time you said sorry to someone?
I don't often say sorry.
Wow.
My friends would tell you the same thing. Do you know what it is? Because I focus all my energy on not hurting anybody,
Yeah.
avoiding confrontation,
Yeah.
and everything's one shot. So, for example, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, but those mistakes that I've made have never been from having a negative mindset.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to
malice
say?
behind your actions.
No, never, ever. I've never woken up a day in my life and gone, I'm going to fuck that guy over today. And you know what? See that girl there? Watch when I've never woken up with that malice in my heart.
Yeah.
But if something's happened out of my control or because I've reacted negatively to something, that's just who I am. And that's who I will continue to be because that's who I am. So I've never felt the need to apologize for that because a lot of the time it's how people receive something that you're giving rather than how you meant.
No, I agree.
For
Like,
it to
your
kind of-
opinion of me is your business.
Of course, because I don't know a human being that everybody likes.
There is no such thing.
There you go. So who am I trying to be that person?
Yeah.
It's that simple for me. Do you know what I mean? So, fear shouldn't come from what other people say. Fear should just be because you might feel like, oh, I'm inadequate or I don't feel as though I've got the strength to do it, and then you work on that.
Yeah.
But my fear is never because of what people say.
Yeah. Okay. We didn't even get into how you started comedy. You know that?
Comedy.
We went to the football.
Yeah.
And then after the football, I take.
Do you know what it was? I think it's weird because. Okay, so basically, when I did Camp America, I had the weekends off.
Yeah.
And I went to Best Buy and I bought a DVD that had Martin Lawrence on it.
Just on a whim.
On the whim. No, I was like, I remember him from House Party. House Party is one of our favourite films, isn't it? So I thought he's got his own movie. Let me buy this and watch his movie. Yeah. I didn't know it was a stand-up DVD, so I put it in and I thought someone bumped me. I was like, what kind of shit is this? I thought this is a film. And he's up there standing there telling jokes. Yeah. I remember, and I was staying at my counsellor's house, my head counsellor, Justin.
Yeah.
And he was watching it in his house and we were dying tears, real tears, not the LOLs you get on fucking Twitter and all that shit. Real
stomach pain,
laugh out loud shit.
Yeah.
And I still didn't even know it was called comedy. I still didn't even know it was called stand-up comedy. I just saw him on a stage making people laugh. Immediately, I saw myself on that same stage. Immediately. Because I said to myself, this is what I do when I'm around the man.
Standard, yeah.
That's what I do around the man. I'm that guy around the man. I saw him telling jokes to the man. That's all I saw. So again, stripping things down and making it the bare minimum. Can I make people laugh? Yes, I can, because I've been doing it all my life. Now, do I know the ins and outs of comedy? No, I don't. So what my choice was, as soon as I got back to London, I was like, I need to find out everything I can about stand-up comedy. And then there was an article in the Voice newspaper that said comedy school. And then bam, and I saw Rudy Liquid. And I remember Rudy Liquid being one of my favourite comedians who I saw on nights at the Empire back in the day. Yeah. I remember this one joke that he had about having an argument with the Rastafarian. And then instead of pulling out a knife, he pulled out a comb and said, mine out, because I'll comb that. Yeah. And then that stuck with me, right? That stuck with me. And then because he was doing it, I don't think I would have joined it if it wasn't for him.
So he was leading it. He was facilitating the whole work.
Him. I mean, he's the reason why I went to that comedy school. Then I found out a guy called Keith Palmer was the one who was actually owned it, but Rudy was the tutor. Yeah. So they're teaching you that, dynamics of comedy and different styles of comedy, and what happens when you make sure that if you turn left, that if there's a reason why you walk to the left side of the stage, and making the mic stand. How else can you make the mic stand funny and using it on stage, and eye contact with your audience, and making sure that everybody feels like you're talking to them as an individual.
I understand, of course.
Right. So all of those little things are the reasons why I believe separates me from everyone else, because people can say, "Oh, you went to
everyone else."
Everybody else in terms of comedians, in terms of
UK-based comics.
Yeah, in terms of black comics.
Okay.
In terms of black comics, because I find and hold on, not just black comics, a whole bunch of comedians. Yeah. To be fair, a whole bunch of comedians, because a lot of comedians organically just go on stage and make people laugh, and it works for them, and it is what it is. Yeah. I chose to learn what comedy was. It's like the difference between someone that can drive a car and someone that's got their license.
I get
you can both drive, but one's legal and one ain't. Yeah. I wanted to be a legal comedian. I wanted to learn. I wanted to study. I wanted to make sure that
how long was that
course? 2 months.
2 months.
2 months.
Every weekend?
Every weekend, every Sunday.
Okay.
It was in Camden. Camden, Keith Palmer, really good comedy school. It's still going on now. Loads of people have been there.
Yeah. Who else was in the
Dane
class
Baptiste has been there.
Okay.
Jamie Howard, I think, went for a little while. Yeah. In my who was in there for my Lateef?
Really?
Yeah, me and Lateef Lovejoy, and another guy who passed away. Okay. Was called Owen, and his name was Talk a Lot.
Okay.
And that was his comedy name. And Owen was hilarious, and it was 3 of us, and it was like it was weird because we was talking, and when we was coming up to our graduation shit, we was like, listen, no matter how far people get in this game, we always have to stay together. We always have to stick together.
This was the graduation, which is the first set to the public audience.
Yeah. Like we always have to stick together. That's what we were saying to each other, because we used to go to the class together, come home together, and we met each other there. Yeah. I think Lateef had been doing comedy for about 3 months at the time. Yeah. But then he wanted to learn a bit more, so he came to the school. And me, I just come fresh from I saw Martin Lawrence doing this. So, but that's what. And when Owen passed away, it was really sad, because it was like, he was going through a lot of stuff in his life and whatever. And then even now, I will speak to Lateef at least every month.
Serious.
Even now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people don't get it. some people don't get it. They'll be like, right, like, you always bring, like, anything that I do, Latif will always get a call from me saying, you know what, come and do this. Even if it's him opening up or whatever, because I want to keep to my promise. That no one else really knows about, apart from that. This first time I've been spoken about it. Yeah. Like, no one really knows that. That guy, to me, no matter where he goes in his life, no matter what I do in my life, we always said, let's stick together. And it became even closer because Owen died. You understand what I'm trying to say? And Owen being as amazing as he was, is the reason why, no matter how, Latif could ask me for money. Yeah. Vice versa. Yeah. Like, that's it. It is what it is.
Would you say you're quite an emotional person?
I'm a very emotional person.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't have thought that, you know. Because
do you know what it
exude
is?
Such confidence.
I think, again, it's my Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
I can hide on stage. I hide on stage a lot. People don't see that. They'll just see like, you know what? He's on stage, he's doing it, blah, blah, he's loving it.
The icing,
he's loving it. He loves all the attention and like off stage, I don't want to be heard. I don't want to be heard.
I know. Do you know, some people must find that really odd, man. They're like, wait a minute, this is the loud guys. Just like, even in the lift up, you were just quiet until we got in here and we started talking.
Do you know what it is? Because and this is what brings me back to the point I made about Eddie Caddy. Eddie Caddy for me epitomizes, on the outside, what people think comedians should be like. Yeah. Eddie Caddy's always dancing. He's got live energy. Yeah. It's a very courageous and contagious character because people want to be around that all the time. Yeah. Where that stopped for me is when I really started getting some success because eyes started to change towards me.
Okay. So how long into stand-up was that?
I think maybe 5 years into...
5 years in?
5 years into Corks.
5 years into Corks?
Remember, think of it like this.
Go on.
And this will let me know how vigilant you are. Whenever you came to Corks, where was I?
Whenever I came to Corks, you were around the DJ booth for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never came out the DJ booth. You know why?
No.
Because all the attention
was too much.
Was me. Everything that was happening was me. What I didn't want guys to come there and think, oh, look at this guy, he's feeling himself, man. All these girls here, blah, 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 blah. If I walked out the DJ box,
I'm hounded.
I'm talking to all the girls. I'm talking to everybody. Yeah. I kept myself in the DJ box because it was for them.
Yeah, let the environment.
It was for them.
Unfold, yeah.
It wasn't about me because the moment I step out that box, it's about me. It ain't about no one else. And when you're a young guy, other guys can be intimidated by that. It's like, yeah, we know it's his comedy show, but why is he going on like he's the man and and all this other stuff? I controlled all of that because I stayed in the DJ box. I didn't want no other attention apart from the attention that I was getting on stage.
So that was a conscious decision 5 years in?
Yeah, because
before that you were roaming around like a madman.
No, I wasn't even roaming around like a madman. I always kind of was in the DJ box. I just felt as though it became a conscious thing because I saw eyes change towards me. I'm getting a little bit of heat here.
Yeah, and you can feel that.
I got the most beautiful girls in London here. Yeah, and guys are coming there. Comedy was an option. Now you're coming because the hottest girls in London are here. Now you're coming because, like your brethren are here as well. Do you know what I mean? It got to the point where people started to bring their mums and stuff. Yeah. And their families and stuff. You know what I mean? And for me, the only attention I ever wanted in comedy was on stage. Even now. Don't want it other than that, because for me, it's like, that's not why I'm now doing this. Yeah, I want to make people laugh and I love all of that. Yeah. Now I've got my business mind on. I'm a young entrepreneur. I've got my head focused. How can I take this to television? How can I help this guy and all that person? And that's what I'm doing. I'm like the football coach of comedy now. I'm bringing this new comedian in. I'm telling him, no, wait, you're not ready yet.
You've always done that, bro. I think you've always done that.
I've always done that
really well through the platforms, which is Comedy Funhouse.
Yeah, I've always done that.
Champion of talent.
But I think because TV didn't.
Yeah. Because
who was as hot as that comedy club was, whoever came down and goes, you know what? This is where all the black talent is. These are the people that we need to be putting on television. This is how we're gonna boom, 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 boom. No one ever did that. That's why nobody in this industry can look at me and say there's no black talent. Because you don't want to come and find black talent. You want black talent to go into jongleurs and comedy store.
Yeah.
Are we here to make people laugh? Or are we here to make white people laugh? That's a question I've got for the industry. Because I'm a headliner any room that I go into in the country.
Yeah.
I headline.
Yeah.
So that's because I'm funny. It's not because I'm going there to make white people laugh. That's because I'm funny.
Yeah.
People don't give you money if you ain't funny. That's how it goes. It's that
Don't
simple.
you craft your sets for an audience, for a more mainstream audience? Like you
When
said,
you're
you are
young-
in the industry
when
now,
you're
you do
young-
have to kind of speak its
yeah,
language to an extent.
When you're
right?
young, you think that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But no,
You
not
don't?
anymore. No. Because does a white guy want to hear a black guy talking about white stuff?
No, it wasn't. Well, yeah. Obviously, it's about you and your truth, right?
But this is what I'm trying to say. But how truthful is it if you're not talking about being a black man?
Yeah. I get that, man.
Some people look at it and go, why do black comedians always talk about race? Because that is something that I'm faced with every single day. In these eyes, see unfairness every single day.
Still.
So how can I go and be honest with an audience and not talk about race?
Has that changed? Have you seen less of that as you've grown up, or have you seen more of that?
No, there isn't a white comedian in the country that can do everything that I can do.
Okay.
That's not an opinion. That's fact.
Yeah.
I don't like opinions. Opinions don't mean anything. I've got numbers to prove it. I've got images to prove it.
Yeah.
No one,
You're a
none
numbers
of
guy.
them.
Okay.
None of them.
You've always been a numbers guy. It's like back in the day, bro, I tell you what, back in the day as well, when you were promoting what you were doing, social media, early, even I don't even know if it's MySpace days or whatever. If I went onto online media somewhere, I saw your fucking face, man. And it became like, what?
Did you know what it was
Why
though?
were you always screaming to us in capital letters as well?
Because it stood out.
It was always capital letters.
Because
I
it
was
stood
like,
out.
This guy's screaming at me.
Because somebody
Breathe,
said,
man.
you got to stand out. You got to stand out. You remembered it.
Yeah, I definitely remember
And that's what I'm trying to say. Imagine you're getting all this information.
Yeah.
But capitals will always make you go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You want to read the nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you know
So
what
where
I
did
mean?
you learn these things from, these little marketing things? How
Just-
did you learn to
I
clock?
didn't learn anything. You know what it is? My number one gift is my observation.
Okay.
What people think I don't see, I see.
Okay.
Even if it's behind me. Even if it's a little glance, I know when someone's coming over to say, well, go on. Way before they do it.
Okay.
Like, I see all of that, which sometimes isn't a good thing because you want to go into a rave and have a good time. You want to just let yourself go. Some of the best nights are when I've said, fuck it.
Yeah.
But very rarely do I go into a public place and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, what your eyes see are what your eyes see. If you shun what your eyes see just to make other people comfortable or other people happy, then you're living for others and you'll never...
You won't be happy like that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then sometimes you see way more than average person, so it's hard. Do you know what I mean?
So when you like, say after Funhouse, right? So Funhouse, from my experience, established your name in my head as an outsider looking in. Anyway,
Yeah.
Did you have a plan of how far you want to go? Did you say, I want to do radio, I want to get a show on TV?
Okay, so
Do you have milestones that you want to reach?
No.
You just want to do as much as you can before you drop dead.
Do you know what it is? It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what I want to do.
Still.
I think when somebody asks me, because my answer always changes.
Really?
So when someone says, if I could give you anything, what can you do?
Yeah.
What would you want? I think now maybe I'd say, you know what? I'd want my own talk show.
Okay.
I'd want to interview the Tiny Tempers and the Rich 32s who aren't going on the Jonathan Ross. I'd want to fill that bracket like America would do standardly and give somebody a show that allows them to interview and get into stories from people other than just what their brand is. I don't invest in Rich 32 because he makes the best music. I invest in Rich 32 because I share some similarities with him. I can connect to his story.
Yeah.
That's how people have lifetime brands. Not because of the music that they're making, because that's tissue paper.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? But when you connect with someone, it's like if someone says Kojo is my best comedian, there's nobody that can change your mind on that. And it ain't necessarily gonna be because I'm the most funniest. It's because you connect with me. Do you know what I mean? You connect with me. Like if somebody loves, my favorite TV presenter, There's nobody that can tell me otherwise because I connect with that person.
Who is it?
My favorite TV presenter, I think, is Jonathan Ross.
Yeah.
And I've met him so many times.
Yeah.
Because we go to screenings together when we're doing breakfast and interviews and stuff like that. So they put all these presenters and personalities to go to screenings, private screenings, and then you just get to meet people. And he's even better when you meet him than just watching him on television.
So
and
that is really who he is.
Yeah, and you know, him and Russell Brand made me learn very quickly how important how you speak is. So, for example, when I was with Reggie is kind of, again, like we talk about Frank Lampard and Michael Owen, Reggie is what you get when you read a book on how to present. Yeah. That's Reggie Yates. He does it really well. Reggie Yates, you know, he delivers well, he looks amazing, he you know, epitomizes what a TV presenter is. Very polished. Yeah. Slick. Knows his stuff. That's one thing about Reggie's knowledge is amazing. Yeah.
His Twitter copy used to be reading and running. It's just consuming media.
That's it, learning. But then I felt as though when I started out, I had to sound like Reggie. Yeah. I had to be like Reggie. Yeah. And then in actual fact, no one talks like that in the real world. Yeah. Like me and you talking now. Yeah. That's how I always want to speak to people. So it's good to have the knowledge of, okay, make sure you can get the A, B, and C covered, but deliver it how you would talk to somebody.
Basically. You have to be you.
Exactly. So
Jonathan Ross and Brand don't do that exceptionally
well. But this is what I'm trying to say. And I remember when Russell Brand was doing TRL, he didn't talk like, "Hi kids, this more."
Fuck off, man. Fuck off.
Do you know what I mean? It's like that's what
upsets me immediately.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But that's what TV and academies and all this. That's what they teach you how to
pump
become.
that out, and it becomes part of your conscious. Sometimes consciously, subconsciously, you think you're supposed to be there. And even when I first started off doing presenting and hosting and stuff, I don't even know, you know, bro. There are times when I know if there's an audience there. For example, I hosted launch of Global Entrepreneurship Week and a TED Talk, and I knew that was business-minded entrepreneurial people. So I was taking out the innits, for example. So I do kind of filter where I need to be, but for the most part, I'm happiest when I'm myself.
I
totally agree with that.
I think when you've got a brand that's strong, you can do what you want.
Real talk.
You can talk to people how you want. 50 Cent can go into
but
business.
But then that's the best way to build it as well.
But this is what I'm trying to say.
Conviction of being yourself.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. And I used to look at that and feel like, oh man, this is what I need to do. I always had what I was supposed to, the way I was supposed to do it. Yeah. And
even if you tried to go against it.
But this is what I'm trying to say, and that's what allows you to. People listen to my radio show in the morning because of how I do me. Yeah. They connect with me. We done an experiment one time. We asked people to send us a picture of where they were listening from and with them in it. And for years, when I was doing, especially when it was Choice, I thought like, I'm talking to black people. You have no idea.
Seriously.
Asian 34-year-old woman that's a nurse. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that is who you're talking to. Yeah. That is who's choosing you in the morning.
When you were first on, when it was Choice FM?
Around that time. And it was like, wow, open my mind up. I can still be me and get everybody in. Yeah. I don't need to tailor and make myself for a white audience or a black audience or an Asian audience.
When you do that, you're lying. You're fooling yourself.
You're fooling to yourself, but then you're not being honest. And I feel like if you can't ever be honest and you're not learning, don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do anything that doesn't allow you to learn or progress. Yeah. Don't do it. And that's been my number one thing. That's when I know when to leave and I know when to begin new journeys.
Yeah. Okay. So with these journeys, that just brings me on nicely to you're always growing. You're doing a load of things, right? So I take it as someone that's as ambitious as yourself, and sometimes I experience this. I spend a lot of time alone. Do you spend a lot of time alone? Yeah. How do you deal with those lonely times, bro? Because do you know what I mean? We coexist in humanity, so there's only so much we can spend by ourselves. And sometimes
that is what I am now fighting with as a 35-year-old man. Okay. Like, that is now what I'm fighting with because my default settings now are my own space. That's why some of my relationships haven't worked. Yeah. That's why sometimes I've fallen out with family.
Yeah. Because you do everything yourself your way.
Not even all of that. I think doing everything your way, and I just think that's a characteristic thing. I don't think it's anything to do with circumstance. But I think I'm most comfortable. You know what it is? I think me being by myself a lot represents who I trust more than anybody else.
Oh, wow. Where did that stem from? Lack of trust?
Growing up, like, both of my family were, like, my mum and dad went to jail when I was 5 years old. So then you get thrown into the system of foster caring and all the other stuff. Then you go through a period of, okay, well, I'm in an amazing foster home, which saved my life. My Aunt Sandra is the closest woman. She knows everything I do.
Is Aunt Sandra the same lady that told you to go to America to camp?
Yes.
Okay.
She saved my life. And for me, that's the only other person I trust. 100%.
By yourself?
By myself. So I know if I'm in, for example, I can count the amount of houses that I've been to and chilled. Because I don't do that. How often do my boys come to my house and chill? Not that often. Because that is a space where I can be totally comfortable. Now, it's shifting that and allowing somebody else to make me feel comfortable.
So you're open to you're working on the idea of accepting vulnerability.
Yes.
When did you start working on that idea?
Maybe the last 2 years.
I just watched a TED Talk on it, bro. It's so interesting. I'll forward you the link. Last 2 years, and how's it treating you?
It's good because I feel as though in life, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
you're content with your achievements?
Yeah.
And with
like
who
if
you
I
are?
never did anything new.
So if you were to die tomorrow?
Yeah. No regrets.
Okay.
I have very few regrets.
Yeah.
And if it's anything that I do regret is based on family and friends.
But Reggie's kind of similar, isn't he? I think he's got that tattooed on his arm.
Family first.
Family first. That's what he's got tattooed.
I think that was probably his first tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Reggie, because it's weird because me and Reggie have a lot of similarity. And I'll let him tell you that when you talk to him.
Yep.
But it's been interesting because I'm older than Reggie. But at the same time, Reggie's older than me in terms of the industry.
Yeah.
So it's a very unique friendship.
Yeah.
Where I'm teaching him life
yeah.
lessons.
Yeah.
But then he's teaching me industry lessons.
Yeah.
Learn a lot from Reggie, definitely. But
the vulnerability.
But I just think everybody deals with it differently.
Yeah.
You know, like I was uncomfortable with people helping me. So it's easy. You can count the list of people that I've helped. A long list of people that I've helped. But I may not necessarily that they may be able to be a platform where they could help me, but not many people can say that they've helped me. Not because of the one of trying, but maybe because I've allowed them to.
Yeah, maybe it's also because, and the reason I'm about to say this theory, because I was on your Facebook page, and you put something out on your wall saying a lot of people come to me. It's hard being a person that everyone comes to for advice, and then you went on to say something about Nick Cannon and what you've done over there. So maybe it's because there's only a very few people you hold in high regard and can take lessons from.
That's very true.
Maybe
there's not many people that I admire.
Okay.
Not because of their personalities, but a lot of it is just because I see too much.
Yeah.
I see more than a fan would. So I know most of the people in the industry. There's a huge element of pretense in this world, and that's why I pride myself on anything that you hear about me is real. Or it's happened. It's not going to be something that I'm not feeding anyone lies. When I'm going through it, you know I'm going through it. It's not going to be covering things up because I've learned ages ago that the best form of therapy is comedy, and I it's very therapeutic to me because I'm now telling, these one man shows aren't just one man shows for me. Like, and I want to make a point of saying, some comedians, they'll just say I want to do one man show to make money. I've got something to say when I'm doing my show.
Yeah,
I'm at a point in my life where you need to hear this.
The whole piece of work is a solid message.
Yes, you walk out of my shows now like rah. Didn't know that.
These are the full big stand up.
Yeah.
Like the 1 hour sets.
If you don't have something to say, don't do them. Because I don't want to.
There's purpose behind it.
I don't want to hear all your sets for the whole year in 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's
was that
why.
not was your first DVD like that? Have you grown from that?
My first DVD, Live and Kicking, the first. Yeah, I mean, Fresh Prince of Hackney was. There's this comedian, black guy. Hello, everybody in England. There's other people apart from Lenny Henry. Yeah, and it's hip hop, it's fashion, it's silly, it's that's what that was.
Yeah.
Which was great because it made me known all over the country.
Yeah.
Like it went mad. No Twitter, no Instagram, no none of that. Then it was just like TV. You had MTV Base, right? And then I did Truth Hurts, which was another show that I did at Catford. And that's the first time I ever spoke about my parents going to jail and being in foster care.
I remember that. Yeah, I was there with Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think they showed a little bit of that on Lick. In fact, sorry, Truth Hurts was before Fresh Prince.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Okay. Because I got a little bit of the Lick.
Yeah.
And then MTV was like, let's do a longer bit.
Yeah. So
then I done Fresh Prince and Hackney. And then that's what led on to the Funhouse being on MTV and etc. etc. Every time I've done a one-man show, there's been a reason. There's something's happened after it. Either whether it was a DVD or it was a TV show. Yeah. It wasn't because, hey, I can run my Hackney Empire. You've done it. Once you've done it once, doing it 8 times ain't no different.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So it's just, so for me, it's about what are they getting from me every time I go back, And I've learned as well from, say, like Truth Hurts to like Live and Kicking, live. What are you writing about? What are you writing about?
Yeah.
Because if I know you're not living, you're making stuff up.
Yeah. You
got to live. You got to date people. You got to be around your family and your nephews and all these other stuff. You got to go on holiday and have an argument with your friend. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You got to get into a situation where it's going to kick off. You got to live. You got to live all these things because they're your stories. Yeah. These are the bits that people want to know. Otherwise, you're either taking material or you are making stuff up, fabricating the truth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the most honest comedian ever to pick up a microphone was Richard Pryor.
Up to this day. Yeah.
Way ahead of his time. So why should I be doing anything different? You people don't want to hear, the easiest thing to do is fall into observational comedy. And then
just kick back and watch and report.
Well, because then everyone else is kicking back, sitting down and reporting. So you get into, that joke sounds like his joke.
Oh, I see.
Because we're all observing the same thing. We've all chased the bus and fucking missed it. So I can't, do you know what I mean? So I can't get angry if someone else is telling that story because it's an observational thing. Yeah. But where you find definition in yourself, which is what Kevin Hart does really well, is tell stories that only you have experienced. Yeah, people might be able to relate to them, but that is your story. And that's where you separate yourself from a whole bunch of comedians. You have one-liners, you have your observational comedians, then you got storytellers, and then you probably got like deadpan comedians. But that's just more of a style of comedy rather than what they're saying. But stories are what separates you. That's the only thing that can separate you. Is stories. Other than that, you sound like everyone else.
Do you think you should be bigger, in your opinion, in UK comedy, mainstream, not black circuits?
I think so. I think I pride myself on having the answers. So if I go into a casting room or an audition room and they ask me questions, I've got answers. If you ain't got answers, don't ask for nothing.
So you ask me answers to what?
So question is, what have you done?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here you go.
Yeah.
Have you done Edinburgh Festival? Here you go. Have you performed in front of white audiences? Here you go. Have you sold out any theatres? Here you go. Have you done television? What country?
Yeah.
Like I don't ask for things if I've not got the answers to them.
Yeah.
So having done all that I've done, has, and it being orchestrated the way it has allowed me to learn a lot of talents that I didn't even know I was good at.
Yeah.
Like organising a comedy club.
Yeah.
Like,
so the entrepreneurial side of you.
well, there you go. If people give you things, how strong do you find yourself? How do you know how strong you are? There's a lot of things that I'm able to do more than a lot of people because I've been forced to do them. Yeah. Doing a comedy club. In hindsight, is that something that you want to do? No, it's not a great job. But it was fun doing it.
Booking those acts must have been a big...
But this is what I'm trying to say. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
But do I want to do that? I don't want to do that. But I was forced to do it because there was no avenues for me.
It was a step towards what you wanted to achieve. Right?
Every time there's a wall, I knock that wall down. Every single wall that I've ever had has been knocked down. Every single one. Because you're not going to tell me what I can't do. Ever. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If I see somebody next to me flying, I will learn how to fly.
That's it, bro. Word, bro.
And that's just my mentality. Yeah. You're not going to tell me that I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
Now, I cannot do everything. Not at all. I am not the best at everything. But one thing you will get is an attempt.
Numerous attempts.
Yeah, you get an attempt. Because at the end of the day, there are a whole bunch of people who, for example, on Twitter, you look at their bios and their whole bio says, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. But they're not known for none of them. And I'd say don't put anything up there unless you're known for that. Yeah, you can do it. No one's saying you can't do it and it's not in your capacity to do it, but you're not known for that.
Yeah.
Or any of those things that you're putting up. So don't do that because people automatically think, okay, this person's too much. Too much going on. And I always say to people, when I do like mentoring classes and stuff, I always say to kids like, have a route. And your route is the thing that you can do with your eyes closed. That's the thing you can do with your eyes closed. There's a lot of things that people want to do that other people are good at. But what can you do that at 6 o'clock in the morning, you get a phone call saying, I need you to do this. Can you be amazing at that at 6 a.m. in the morning? If you can, that is your route. And then you have branches that allow you to do. But they only come from the root.
Yeah.
If you're not good at the root, them branches don't ever come. They never exist. And then when those branches start getting leaves, it's just the way your tree's growing. So for me, I always say comedy has allowed me to do so many different things, but I had to be good at comedy.
Yeah.
I had to be.
You had to do it properly, right?
Yeah. And, no matter how many comedy shows that have come before me and come after me, Kojo's Comedy Fund House will always stand alone. Like the Real McCoy will stand alone. There's never going to be anything.
It's definitely part of my history.
Of course.
100%. In terms of London culture, black comedy, 100%.
And I think that's a generation thing as well, though. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, earlier on, the youngsters won't have a clue what that was.
Yeah.
Maybe never seen it on MTV base.
Yeah.
They now have their own things that they may, even though I think like with the comedy, it's all over. There's a whole bunch of promoters and people doing different things all over the place now. So I just want to do the things that matter. And I'm only finding now, which is funny, but it is just how life is. People want respect too early.
People want respect.
Too early.
I agree.
And respect will always have to be earned. It will always have to be earned. And, I was somebody that wanted respect early.
Don't we all go through it? The moment we believe in ourselves a little bit more than our peers, we're like, whoa, doesn't everyone see this? I'm different. Yeah. Give me things.
Exactly. But you know what?
Life will slap the life out of you.
Well, that, but also you need to understand that those things need time to bed in. It's like if I come in and I say, oh, I'm doing a show on Radio 1 tomorrow, some people won't even know I'm on Radio 1 till about 3 years after. Yeah. Because that's when they heard about it. Respect has to settle in and be given the opportunity to mature and to be consistent. And that's when you get your just dues. People always say to me, oh, right, but I don't see you at the comedy clubs anymore, blah, 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 blah. But then they see you doing Wild and Out. They'll see you doing Wembley Arena with Kevin Hart. They're like, oh, get it now. I see what he's doing now. His fight isn't with another comedian. Yeah. His fight is with...
He's on a long path.
His fight was with international people. He's trying to do this.
Yeah.
Because you can go to a comedy show, see somebody.
In a comedy club recently, bro. Who said
but
that?
People will say that, and the fact of the matter is, though, like when do you see me at a comedy club? Name the last flyer you saw me on.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, I've changed circles as well, so I wouldn't even be aware to be.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But for me, it's like Is my time best spent jumping on a show with 8 comedians to do 10 minutes? I've been in this game 15 years in February. I can't do 10 minutes. I think it's wrong of somebody to ask me to do 10 minutes because you're getting more from it than I am.
Yeah.
So I either turn up unannounced, which is always fun, and then jump on. Then I'll give you 10 minutes because you haven't used my name or anything like that.
New unpracticed.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? And there's no pressure on me to be hilarious if I want to try out some new bits.
Yeah.
And then, and that's the way I see it. I watch Chris Rock do that when I go to New York and LA. He just turns up sometimes. And that's the buzz of comedy.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
But comedy is not, there's no excitement. Like what I loved about Corks was the same comedian that made you laugh 3 months ago could die tonight. He could die on his ass tonight. That's what comedy clubs are. Comedy shows at Hackney Empire, it's big, everyone's in the room, everyone's gonna be hilarious. Very rarely does someone die on a big show.
Yeah, because they've prepped that shit.
But also, the promoters have also gone for the bankers.
Yeah, of course they.
I know these are gonna be, they don't take chances like I did with Quarks, where it wasn't about it. If you think you're funny, I never auditioned anybody. Ever. Ask one comedian, never auditioned anybody. If you believe you can make these people laugh, come on the stage.
Yeah. And there were some deaths.
Of course there were.
But the good thing about you, that some hosts, compares don't do, especially the younger ones, even if someone died, straight 5 minutes of air, you would still big them up at the end and tell everyone, you know what, this shit is hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what, there's some compares that are like, oh my God, never going to book him again to get a cheap laugh.
Do you know what it is? They don't, but I know, but some people, I think if that's what they do, that's what they do. And I just think that's what makes them them. And again, you not liking it is an opinion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some people will be like, that was funny. I like the way he rips into them when they die. Yeah. Some people like that. But I think people will know what I've done, not when they're with me, when they're at another show. You understand?
Yep.
That's when you see all the stuff that I'm about and what I do when you try another show. Yeah. Because you know the feeling that I gave you. And then you go to another show and it'll be a hilarious night and everyone's ripped. But it wasn't how Kojo does something. I branded myself on a feeling when you leave anything that I do. Yeah. That you left wanting more. That's it. Sick. Even like now with comedy, the radio show that I've recently left, the breakfast show. And again, it's wanting more. I know that I've left them wanting more. I could stay here until the wheels turn off and, it just gets dry and, you become, Kojo's on. I don't have to listen to him every day. It provoked a response that I wasn't even sure about. And I'm always about leave them wanting more.
How did you land that job?
Through comedy.
Time, by the way, we've been yapping.
I'm cool.
I'm blessed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's recording, yeah.
I was doing stand up. I've been on Choice for various events and stuff, and come up and do it.
People been interviewing you.
Yeah, okay. So I come and do an interview with Richard and Kat, or Martin J and Jeff, like a whole bunch of people just coming up in the game really, and a Branty as well. You know what I mean? Like shout out to Branty because he helped me out a lot when I was young, especially being Ghanaian and doing all the Ghana Independence and all those shows as well, which are amazing. I was just familiar with it. I grew up listening to Choice anyway, and then I remember they were like, we're just looking for a new breakfast show. And it makes sense to have a comedian do a breakfast show. The best show ever was Jeff Sheeman. So, on any radio show, any station, anywhere. Like I love Jeff Sheeman's show and just loved how he did it. And it was my voice that I was listening to. I was listening to someone talk like me and give me my sense of humor. So when the time came, I actually had opportunities to be on Choice before that.
They'd asked you?
Yeah. The opportunities came up, but then I was just like, I just want to be the best comedian. So I said no, because I just wanted to be the best comedian that I wanted to be. I didn't
focus on.
And radio's never really been something that I thought I'd ever be doing. Never. I used to walk into radio stations and say, all these damn buttons, I can't do that shit. You only need 2 of them. That's when you find out, though. You know what I mean? You only need 2 of them. Everything else kind of works itself. But again, that little fair thing. Yeah. So So they called me in and I done a demo. I had done an experience at un-censored.
Yeah.
With Reggie and Dev.
What do you mean? You were on the show?
When un-censored started, I was there.
Really?
Yes.
So you were in the studio with them, you had your own mic, you were a voice?
Yes.
Oh,
so
shit,
basically what I did, I was a contributor. So it was Reggie and Dev's show.
Yeah.
This is when I'm was doing like Orange back in the day.
Orange?
They had I think it was Orange. They had a Smile. Sorry, not Smile. It's not Orange, Smile. They had a TV show called Smile,
Okay.
Reg and Dev,
Okay.
on BBC.
Right.
And I came on. Ironically, it was supposed to be me and Max.
Yeah.
At un-censored.
Yeah.
And she turned down the job at the time because she was in Coventry. I think I had done a radio show. She was getting massive interviews or whatever. So she was like, I want to produce my own show. I can't do it here. So she left. So then they gave Reg and Dev the show, and then they put me with them.
Yeah.
So basically, I'd go out. I was known as the VIP. So I basically go to do all these celebrity interviews and bring it back to the show.
Yeah.
What's been going on? This is the gigs. Blah blah
So
blah.
how
blah.
old were you then?
19.
Sick.
19, I
Must
think.
have felt good doing that at 19 though.
Yeah, I was 19 or 20, maybe 20, 20, 21.
This is before Funhouse.
Yes, 2021. So me, Reg and Dev were all on the show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then basically, I had done that. So I was there one extra first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they didn't renew my contract. They were just like, okay, we got another idea for the show. We don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. Is what it is. And I was cool with it. And then I was like, cool. And then Reg left about 6 months after that. To do his own show.
Yeah.
To do his own show on the station. That's right. And then I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? So I found myself in a situation. What am I gonna do now? So I started the Fun House and all that. Built my brand up. Didn't begin not knowing what I was doing.
When you left them, whether it was let go or whatever, when you left them, were you like, what? Watch, I'm gonna do something myself.
I was upset.
Was there any bitterness there?
There was bitterness because I wanted my own show.
Oh, okay.
I've always seen radio as give me a microphone, let me be funny. You play music when you want to play music. Like radio's not that complicated.
Yeah.
They were trying to complicate it there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's try and make a comedy show for him. And I don't want no comedy show. Let me be funny, because the moment you put comedy on something, the listeners are like, okay, let me see if this is funny, rather than being funny indirectly.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah, that's you're putting a lot of pressure on it. So I was like, who does this? These are people that work at BBC. Yeah. So anyway, cut long story short, went and built my brand. There was an opportunity to go to Kiss.
Yeah.
They were hitting me with the same thing. Yeah, man, we was thinking about this comedy radio show that we want to do on the Kiss radio station. And I was like, okay, let me hear this. And then we done some pilots, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't really feeling it. I thought it was whack. Because again, it was just like me bringing in comedians and us bantering. I just felt as though it wasn't for Kiss though. Kiss is all about music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's very fast. It's very pacey. It just didn't sit right with me. And so that's when I turned that down. And then I moved to America. I moved to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved to New York.
Yep.
And then I come back, and then
After a year.
About a year.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
You tried to create breaks out there.
Yeah, but no, basically, there's a whole bunch of reasons why I went out there. Personal, and also, I got opportunity to shadow Russell Simmons.
Okay.
So
this is the entrepreneurial head that wanted to learn how he grew.
Right.
I see.
So I spent a year working with Russell Simmons.
Doing what, bruv?
He does Argyle Culture and all these different brands that he works on. So
you were in the office with this dude?
Yes, and I was also going to meetings with him and all this other stuff. I mean, I'd met him when I'd done the Def Comedy Jam thing here, the tour. So it was just an opportunity for me. I had a visa. Do you know what I mean? I had an American visa to work out there. You know, those things are like the lottery. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? God's put this in my hand for a reason. Let me just go and experience. What do I have to lose? Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Everything to gain. So I went round to him, learned so much from him, and I think I am Russell Simmons. I spawn of Russell Simmons. My ruthlessness, my attention to detail, my execution is everything I learned from him, because the guy's ruthless. But everybody in that building wouldn't want to work for anybody else. That's something I always admired about this guy. No business plan, never written no business plan. All he knows how to do is deliver. And I saw a lot of myself in that. Do you see what I'm trying to say? I might not have the education or the degrees or whatever, but no one can't deliver like I can deliver. That's all I knew about me. So I went around him. I learned so much. In the evenings, I'll do shows at comedy clubs with Kevin Hart and Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. And being around all these people, and I kind of lost a little bit of my love for stand-up. But when I went back to New York, because you know what, I know you're going to ask me why, but I think the reason why I lost it because I felt as though everybody was learning from me, but who am I learning from?
In the UK?
In the UK. Right. Who can teach me something? None of them, because they're all coming to me. So I needed to be around people that I could learn from.
Yeah.
And I was learning from comedians that were fresh, new, been in the game for 6 months, killing it. And that's what I remember about myself. So I got all my hunger back, I got my energy back, got my drive back, came back to London, and then, the opportunity came to do Choice. Again,
so what year was this?
2010. 2010.
Yeah.
It was like, look, we're looking to take over the breakfast show, blah, 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 blah. Mark Martin J's been doing it like 20-something years. Yeah. Like, and then the first thing I did was I found Richard. Yeah. Found Richard Blackwood, and I said, bruv, why do you never do the breakfast show? Because that was too obvious to me. Like, why would Richard never do the breakfast show? And Richard said to me, bruv, nah, my breakfast show is long, man, and it's too much of a commitment, and this, that, the other, rah.
What, the contract?
Not even the contract. It's just Monday to Friday. Oh, do you know what I mean? And also, it's a different show.
To 9.
Yeah, it's a different show. Like adverts, and you've got news, and you've got all the traffic, and a lot going on in the breakfast show. And I said to him, bro, why don't you not do it? Like, you and Kat would have killed it as a breakfast show. Everybody would have listened in the morning. And then he was just like, yeah, I know, bro, but nah, man, I'm cool with this, and I guess that allows me to do all the other bits and pieces. Cool. And then I listened to that, and I was like, I'm not like, I don't have that mentality. I have the mentality of, if I'm not going to be on the best show or the biggest show, it doesn't make sense. The biggest show is the breakfast show on any radio station. It is what it is. So I don't know if there was any insecurities from him or because he was good enough.
Getting up at 6 though, bro.
But again, it's a lifestyle thing. But for me, I was just like, you know what? I don't see enough hours in the day as a comedian because I get up late.
Yeah, so true.
I get up late in the evening and then I go to do a gig.
Your own shots as well.
So I'm like, there's nothing for me to get up early in the morning for unless I got interviews or castings or something like that.
And you wanted to change that?
Of course I did, because I went to Talk a Lot's funeral and another friend of mine, Gifford, who was my first DJ at Quarks. And
he passed as well?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to use every hour of this fucking 24 that I got. Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to be taking life for granted and just sleeping in, got internet in my house. I'm just being a lazy person, just writing. And you know me, I've always been doing stuff. I know I got money at Quarks every Sunday, so I don't need to do Sweet FA for the whole week if they ain't no bookings. I'm nice. Yeah. It's great, but it's a bit of a lazy mind state. This opportunity here gets me up in the morning. My day finishes at 9 o'clock. I'm alive.
What time do you get up?
4.
Fuck. What time do you sleep?
You sleep like when it depends on your day, because no day was the same. So if you have nothing to do for the day, then you go home and sleep in the afternoon. And then you're up at night and people are like, bro, like, don't you have a show in the morning? I've just woken up for 8 hours from sleep. Like, do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I just attacked the beast, literally. I attacked the beast, and I feel as though I had an agenda to raise my profile. I couldn't have raised it on a smaller show. So I went for the breakfast show, done it, 5 years, great. Am I learning anything new? No. So I need to move on.
Okay.
So when I decided to leave the show, it was about, okay, what else do I have to do here? I always believe God's got plans for me, and I always listen to my gut. And my gut was like, okay, in about 2 years, this is going to become boring. Not because you're not any good, it's just going to become boring. Plateau. You get to a stage where you got comfortability, and then they're going to take it away from you, because radio is ruthless. You don't know when your last show is. Seriously. There's no goodbyes.
So there's no contracts?
There's contracts. No time, yeah, there's contracts. But then you get renewed. But whether you got a contract or not, they'll still go, oh yeah, we'll pay the rest of that contract. Don't worry about it.
Oh, seen, but just get off.
Yeah.
No.
That's how radio is. People don't know that.
Yeah, no, because I was wondering, all of a sudden, like, presenters change.
People don't know that.
No announcement, nothing.
For me to be able to say goodbye to my breakfast listeners shows the regard that they have me in.
Yeah, that's beautiful, bro.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, because I had it in my own hands. I had it in my own hands. Do I want to be on a bigger network down the line? Of course I do. You know, Capital it was great at the time when I came there. I'm bigger now, so I want to be on a bigger network. And where's radio going? Nowhere for now. Does it have to be now? No, it don't. Can I breathe a little bit? Yeah, I can. I've spent all of last year, which was the best year of my life, career-wise, getting ready for new ventures. Hence why we done the Wasteman Diaries. Hence why I'm writing like a madman. Hence why West End Girls and Above Romance the Play and all these other things, because these are the things that now excite me. These are the things I think the world needs more of, especially in this country. Those black stories, those exciting, aspirational stories. No more of the hood in the council estate, living with your mum and your granddad and everybody in the same house.
Yeah.
It's been done.
There's a massive shift going on, isn't it?
But this is what I'm trying to say. And the shift is moving online and creating it yourself and not waiting for people. So what me and my business partner Sheridan do is come up with these ideas. And now we spent all of 2014, a little bit of 2013, getting all them prepared, written, ready to go. This year is all about shopping now. We go out there and we shop our ideas to different networks and we say, look, we got this. We filmed it. We're showing you the pilot. This is the feedback he's getting. This is what people want to see. Stop buying stuff from America all the time. Because I go there to see what is amazing about America and do it here. Because we don't have to buy all their stories all the time. We're losing ourselves sometimes. So where's the story for young British girls that want to get into entertainment industry? Where's the guy who's trying to get out of the roadman life, trying to get out of it, not a program about what he does when he's in there.
Yeah.
How do we get people out of that?
I agree. Yeah, don't worry. Trust me, I agree.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Totally.
So we have to be busy now in 2015, coming up with ways of showing that image ourselves rather than relying on them. Because if you're building something nice online, TV go, hey, what's going on over there? Same with the Cash Money effect. They're selling millions of CDs and we don't know about this as a record label. Oh, hell no, that's not happening. So what's going on over there? They're still the greatest deal in music. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I look at a lot of hip-hop. Hip-hop influences most of my actions because I study change and when somebody came in and they just changed the game and they were different and why people started going, woo, that's cool now. I study a lot of those artists. I handle my comedy like a mixtape. When I put it out there and I'm shopping and people see me out there promoting it, grinding, blah, blah, blah. People assume that I've got this big engine behind me, but you still see me promoting my stuff, even if it's via WhatsApp, even if it's via...
Still you.
Exactly.
But you got an agent now and whatnot.
I have a very big agent.
Yeah.
I have a great team of people behind me. But P. Diddy has all of those things and you still see him...
doing his own shit. Yeah. You can't rely on anyone regardless.
At all.
Ever.
Because... unfortunately, you're not working for a brand, you are the brand. You have to trickle the effect that everything goes out. Everybody that promotes you has to speak from your tongue. Everybody has to be on the same page. Otherwise, it's different messages going out. So for me, that's more of what my interest lies in now is breaking that TV and the films and all of that stuff. Because there's so much talent out there. This last year, we managed to find so much new faces. It was all kidhood and adulthood for like last 4 years. Do you know what I mean? All the same cast.
Yeah.
We've taken chances on people.
Yeah. That's because you've come from the scene and you know those people now. You know the new guys. The people at the top, mainstream guys, they don't know those.
So that's why they should employ me.
Real talk. No, agreed.
But they don't employ you.
Yeah,
but this
you're
one's
like a bridge to
but
the
they,
promised land.
but you know what? They don't employ me, so I can't wait for them to.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Do you know what I mean? I've just got to be busy. Like, I had a 10-year, I think the happiest moment of my life last year was when a 10-year-old black girl came up to me and said, I know that you do a lot of castings and blah, 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 blah. I haven't been to acting school, blah, blah, blah. But I always wanted to be an actress. She came to me because she's seen what I'm doing. She sees the people that I'm casting. She sees that the world isn't going to give me an opportunity, but he is. That's somebody that's creating stuff for me to do. How many scripts are written with a black person in mind? None. Very few. Unless it's about fucking slavery. That's why the woman who, unless it's a black writer. But other than that, when does mainstream America look at us in a positive light and go, yeah, this cool new character's going to be black guy? There's never, I can't think of one. Even in Hollywood. I can't think of one. Jamie Foxx is the man at the moment. The new Eddie Murphy. But they don't think of him and say, yeah, he's going to be this new character. I'm talking about a character that isn't from a comic book or anything like, or he's playing a biography. I'm talking about a character that you write and you go, yo, this guy's going to be a black man. Doesn't happen. Denzel still plays the same fucking undercover cop.
I agree.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson shouts in all his roles because they love when he does that. But when are we going to get that cool character, that James Bond character that's just, yeah, he's a black guy. Yeah. The most powerful role for a black character right now is Kerry Washington in Scandal, and that was written by a black woman.
Scandal was written by a black woman?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Change the game.
Sick.
Change it. Black lesbian. That's probably why she was allowed to change the game. You get a little bit of that gay in you. It just opens a whole nother door. But I'm just saying, like, that's what this woman has done, though. That's the most powerful black character right now. Yeah. Character in Scandal. And a black woman.
Don't you think there's a change, though? And you're actively part of it. Like, can you not feel that things are slightly changing?
No.
You still can't feel it?
Yeah.
You can't?
No.
Okay.
They're not changing because change isn't because there's a whole bunch of people out there doing their own thing. That's not change. That's force.
Yeah, which leads to change, right?
Well, hopefully. That's why I'm trying to say.
I was watching what's his name? Martin Lawrence. It'll come back to me. Carry on, though.
No, but I'm saying, like, for me, it leads to change, but it's going to lead to change, but the change ain't there yet.
Yeah. But is there, all right, bro, with change, right? Is there ever a pinnacle point that you reach? Isn't it just a non-stop work in progress? Isn't it the process? And then you stop for a second, you look back in hindsight and say, hey, change has happened. But change is currently occurring. Can you not agree that change is currently occurring? With people
I can
like yourself,
with 90% of things in life, but not when it's a racial thing.
All right.
It depends what change you want. So that's the only change that I'm looking for. Change to me is when I walk around West End and I see black images on billboards.
That's a checkpoint for change in your mind.
That's a massive checkpoint for change. I'll be like, wow. Like, I can do that all day in New York. I can walk around and see so many entrepreneurs that are black and just selling the face of this and the face of that product and models and everything. I can see that for years and years and years. Yeah. I can walk around the West End. The only thing black I'll see is nighttime. And that's fact.
Your mission now is a lot bigger than what it initially was.
Of course.
When did that happen?
It happened when I realized I use myself as, people won't say I'm the typical black man, but I want to believe that I am. And the reason why I want to believe that I am because I've had my own hardships, like the average person, and I have my own dreams like the average person. So when someone like myself isn't in a bigger position, somebody who doesn't have excuses and doesn't use excuses, so I have excuses, but I don't use them. Somebody who's willing to work hard than the next person. Until somebody like myself can be in a position of power to create change, I'm not going to be happy. And it's not, and I'm not saying this as Kojo needs to be that guy. I want to help create those people. Because I'm not the only person. There's loads of heroes. We've got loads of heroes out here that have come and done their bit. But they're not being given avenues. Noel Clarke's done amazing things for film. Whether people like his films or not is not relevant. Not everybody likes Tyler Perry's films. But he's an advocate of change. He's got his own studio. He's self-made. America has a way of allowing black people to help their own. We don't. There's nobody in this country that's black and big of black people.
If it's such a mission over here, why don't you go over there?
I have ambitions to go over there in the very near future. But my reasons for going over there isn't because Kojo wants to go and be a big star. My reasons is knowledge again.
So you're doing all this work over here in the UK because you feel it's your job?
I'm doing what I can do. I do feel it's my job, yeah. I do. I do think it's my job. I mean, you'd be amazed who comes to me for advice. People that are way bigger than me.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Because
I have my ideas as to why that might be.
my only idea is I'm probably the biggest person from the black community who literally has done it himself.
Everything.
Like,
That's
and it's not to
that's the reason I was
brag,
thinking.
not to brag, but it's just on a thing of, there's a lot of artists that can say, yeah, but I've been on the grind and I've been doing this, blah, blah, blah. Cool. You might have had a manager, or you might have had somebody that was rolling with you, somebody that said, you know what, I'll cover that financially. No one's ever, my brand is huge in terms of the black community, but I've never taken money from somebody to go and do something. Never. No one's ever said, here's 10 grand, go and put on a massive comedy show. Never. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Would you?
Would I take money? Of course, because that's less of my money being spent. That's money. Huh?
Now you would.
Of course I would, because I'd want to do bigger things.
Okay.
So I have ambitions to do my own award show, for example. That can't happen with my money. I need somebody to go, you know what, I've liked everything that this guy's ever done. I believe in what this guy's motivations are. Here's some money to make this happen. But someone has to see that in me to do it. I can't go around. One thing I'm not really good at is selling myself, because I've prided myself on.
Really?
Hear what I'm saying to you? Verbally. Because for me, it's gloating.
Oh, no, real talk. I understand. Action speaks louder than words for you.
You've seen what I've done.
Yeah.
You've seen what I've done. It's all in ink. I can't sit here and tell you, I can do this. Because that's bigging myself up. I'm uncomfortable doing that.
You're not about to talk.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? If you can't see what I'm doing, that's the problem. Whether it's black people or white people or Asian people, anybody. If you cannot see what I'm trying to do and what I have done, that's the problem. Hence why you can't tell me that we don't know where the black talent is in this country, because there was a platform for 7 years that Chris Rock found about. And he doesn't live here. He came to Corks before his his worldwide tour.
Yeah.
He
During his worldwide.
He could have gone to Comedy Store. He could have gone to Junglers. He came to Corks Wine Bar. If he knows about it, why don't you not know about it? So I can be in all these meetings and that's what I'm saying. I've had meetings with the biggest people in BBC. I've had meetings with the man on the street. People just don't get it. And that's the major problem. That's the major difference between us and America.
What do you think will make the UK get it? Do you need to be on Alan Carr's sofa?
I don't need to be on Alan Carr's sofa. I just feel as though, let's be Great Britain. Let's not be great everywhere else. Let's be Great Britain. Let's see what we have here. Understand that everything amazing isn't white. Some things that are amazing are Asian. Some things that are amazing are Greek. Some things that are amazing are black. Some things that are amazing are young. Some things that are amazing are old. Let's stop trying to have control over everything. That's a problem that we have in this country. We have government money going to make people comfortable, not to change and make Great Britain great. And it can't be great with one opinion. And I feel it's like Great Britain has one opinion. An old white guy who doesn't know anything about fashion, doesn't know anything about music, doesn't know anything. But because he doesn't know about it, it's not allowed to flourish. Only things that he understands is Dad's Army, London's Burning, and EastEnders. Porridge.
Do you think that kind of man is the same guy that shut down BBC Three? Was that see platforms like that, bro? Do you think that was helping your cause?
No.
You still don't think it was helping?
No.
But
because who's got a positive story about that? That's black.
Yeah. I couldn't answer that. I don't.
I saw that channel repeat 2 packets of crisps. That's all I saw that channel do. Repeat that show like crazy. All that airtime going to this dead show that could be on BBC One or something else.
So this is why you believe the focus is online, because that's where the audience are.
That's the only place. That's the only place you're. And this is like not gospel, but it's the only place that we can see that we can be unapologetic and creative. Because in order for us to be creative, a lot of people are going to have to allow us to be unapologetic.
You have to. There can't be barriers in a creative process.
There you go. I've got an idea sitting with a massive production company right now for a black family sitcom. They love it.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's an easy format. It's an easy script. It's simple. But we're going back and forth over creativity. I'm not giving up an ounce of creativity. Now, I can take the check and go, yeah, we got a black family on there that we don't have no resemblance with. Or I can say no, because everything's going online now. You need me more than I need you. And allow me to have creative control. Because I shouldn't be having the same arguments that people were having before me.
It's a whole Rocky thing, Stallone Rocky thing.
Yeah. I can't be having the same conversations that the Reuben Kojo were having and Desmond's and all that was having. I can't be doing that. That's not the time anymore. They had those wars and fights for me to be able to.
Do you?
Do you know what I mean? To get to a place where a black man does have control of the show that he created. Why is that a difficult thing to have? Why must you have all the control? Because you, until this point, you've not created anything amazing outside of all the same generic stuff that you lot put on television. So, will we ever be entitled to a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air here? Will we be entitled to a Cosby Show here? Are we entitled to My Wife and Kids here? A black aspirational family that isn't complaining or moaning or whatever, that live good, that look beautiful? Are we entitled to dream and have that image of us in this country? And if we're not, I'd prefer you to say, thank you very much, we're not ready for all of that. Then me give you my idea, lose creative control, allow you to tell me how black people behave. Not having it.
Yeah.
It's not even a conversation. That's what we're going back and forth about now.
Yeah.
So I've been grateful to find myself in a position where I'm not in need. My want for change is a want. It's not a necessity, because loads of people want change, and loads of people, and change might not even come through me. It might come through another person. But one thing that this country likes to do is, even when you get change, it's because of a white person that allowed the change to happen. So for me, it's like, I want to be able to create change because I think it was, I want it to happen. We deserve it. We've all come into this country and we've made Great Britain a better place for various reasons. So, yeah, just as long as I get creative control of what I want to do, because the fight against me right now is, what have you done in TV?
That's your latest barrier.
Yeah, because that's what they use against you. They offer you money that you've never seen before, first of all. And then they go, oh yeah, he's going to take that. Not going to do it. Because I know how much money you're potentially going to make. I've gone and been around amazing people who've had TV shows and producers and everything. I've learnt.
We like talk figures.
In terms of what they've offered me.
Yeah. Or what is roughly around.
Oh, they've offered me like something around 20 grand to take my idea.
And create a pilot.
Yeah. But I mean, the contract is not just for the pilot. It's if it gets commissioned and this, that, the other, and if it goes to that country and this country, all of that. So it's like they pay you that, and obviously you get your residuals anyway.
Yeah.
But no, what's 20 grand?
No, I agree. You can get that on an online job,
I can get that if I go and do a show at Hackney Empire.
Yeah.
That's not changing. This is television. This ain't supposed to be a live thing. This is TV. So are we trying to get progress? Or are we trying to give the same slavery contracts and tell you, I want to buy a house. I want to buy my mum a house. Can I do that with 20 grand? Because at the end of the day, you're only interested in this because it's good. If it was whack, you wouldn't even give me no money.
Or even time, bro.
Right. So that's the base already. The fact that it's a good idea. It's going to make sense. It's going to change the game. It will make people go, whoa, that's cool. I've spent 2 years learning to become a bad writer, like really. My first book's coming out. I want that to do.
Sick. When's that out?
That's out on the 26th, I believe, at the moment. It's a
26th
pencil.
of?
January.
2015.
So, even with that, people are going to see my writing on another level. Like, even like, because I'm not sure about Roger will tell you, like, I used to send a lot of like these short stories and put them on Insta and WhatsApp and various other platforms. And it was like daily stories. So it was like chapter 1 was on Monday, chapter 2 was on Tuesday, chapter 3 was on Wednesday. And I literally had people hooked.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And it was little paragraphs
Yeah.
of the story. Come Friday, the finale. He's like, but I had people's attention for the whole fucking week. You don't know how people are bored in this world. They're bored. You can be at work and still be bored. You can be doing something and still be bored. And if you can take people away from whatever they're doing and have them go, right, I can't wait till tomorrow. That's how you build. And I wanted to do all of that, just show people the level of my writing. I'm writing some really fucking cool stuff. And I want the world to see it, not just the people in my phone book. I want the world to see it. So, I signed a 2-book deal. That I've got the Above Romance comes out this month, and then later on down the year I've got 60 Things to Think About, which is like a motivational book. And it's just various different scenarios. So some scenarios that you may never have been in, but it's the mindset of that person. And also some that you can relate to. And I think it gives women logic and gives guys emotion, because I think we both lack the opposite.
You think women lack logic?
Of course they do. Women never think nothing. And
I love people speaking in definites. It just
because you know what it is. It's when you make a general statement, it's not everybody.
Yeah, no, of course it is.
But it's the majority.
That's why I find it funny. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's
the majority from your experience, though, right?
I think of I can only write. I can't write for someone else's. I can only say from my personal experience. All the women in my family are emotional.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And compared to a guy, will always be emotional. Guys sometimes is
differently.
Like we don't have enough emotion. We're like, well, obviously that boom 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 and boom. That's how guys think. Boom boom boom. And I'm saying this as an emotional person. Yeah? But guys think boom 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 boom. A girl would tell you something, but you could say it in 140 characters. Because we're bam 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 bam. Get to the point. That's logic.
It was probably designed by a man.
Yeah, for real. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like there are times when guys need to show more emotion. Do you know what I mean? Be vulnerable, like I'm trying to. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Be vulnerable a little bit, and sometimes women just need to go, boom, 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 boom. That's what it is. Rather than, well, maybe it was because of this, and then have you ever thought about? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's too much that goes into making a decision. And one of the chapters in that book is about, when should you sleep with somebody? Because women always have this feeling that, if I sleep with a guy on the first night, he's going to think I'm a hoe.
Yeah.
When in actual fact, it don't matter when you sleep with a guy, he's still going to think you're a hoe if that's what he believes you are. It's nothing to do with the day. Yeah. I mean, as another man, you tell me. For me...
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
What's the question? Go ahead.
I'm asking you, does it matter when you sleep with a girl in terms of what you think of her?
With me now, who I am now?
Yeah.
Not so much.
Right.
When I was younger, yes.
Of course, but when you're younger, there's a lot of things that are nasty and a lot of things that. I'm talking about this is a grown adult's book. You can't count kids because kids are still finding themselves.
Because I've got friends that met, right, and had a one-night stand, and I'm married happily.
See.
Do you know what I mean? So there are no rules.
So this is what I'm trying. Right? So this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So the book is about. Don't do anything that you don't think is right. Yeah. Not because of what the guy thinks. Values. Nothing to do with what the guy thinks. We have relationships and people come with rules before they have fun.
Yeah, bro, that's the worst thing. So again, what Chris Rock said, people are representative of themselves, and sometimes not just in the first few dates, but throughout the whole relationship. Yeah. And I've been that person. Mm-hmm. I've been someone I thought I needed to be in order to be with someone.
Exactly.
And obviously that won't mesh.
It won't last.
Now I am my fucking self all the time, and life is a lot better.
But this is what I'm trying to say, and I feel like all I can do is share some of my experiences. Yeah. Speak on some of the situations that I've been through, my friends been through. Another one is, one of my friends told me how deeply in love he was with a woman, and I posted it. Yeah. And I posted it as myself. because no one would care what my friend.
You posted the actual message.
I just posted it. No, I wrote down everything. I spoke to him, and then it's just something that I remembered everything he said. So I posted it. The woman that I've met and blah blah blah. I put it on Instagram. It went ham. The whole of my network was like, Kojo's in love. Oh my gosh, this, that, who's this woman? Blah blah blah. I took all of that because I took all of that, but it wasn't actually me. But it wasn't important who it was. This is a man. This was a real man that women think don't exist.
How old is this man?
This man he's 28, right? So this is the guy that women say doesn't exist.
All right, now you know this man.
Yes.
Does this man give off that vibe standard
To his woman?
No, to the world. So if I did so you know this man, I don't know. If I saw him, do you think I would think that's what's going on his head?
No. And I'll tell you why, because he felt comfortable with me as his friend to tell me that. That's not something that you need to tell anybody anyway.
Yeah.
I chose to add that to my book because don't tell me that this guy doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, of course, bro, of course. I've been that guy. I've been really
most people, but this one's
it's
to
still
say
there in me.
But this guy, I believe, Reuben, this guy is in every man.
Yeah.
But the only person that will see that is the one that ticks his box.
Yeah.
And women think because they're a woman.
There's so many men that still deny that. You know, they will fight the truth inside them, and it will never be that.
But that is called one thing: maturity.
Yeah, real talk. You lose out on the richness of life.
If you, of course, if you can't say, you know what, I've done this.
Yeah.
It's people think it's a bigger deal than it is. It's not a big deal, bro. It's a 2-second and.
Yeah.
Sometimes we hold stuff from somebody who's probably going through the same thing that we're going through, and we'll never ever know because we've held it back.
That's so much.
We always do it,
so much.
Which comes back to emotion.
Yeah.
Guys don't show enough emotion to each other as much as to another woman. Yeah. It's all thought processed, because that's how guys are. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Don't give me no drama. I don't want to overthink anything. That's how my day is.
Don't sound like a pussy.
Do you know what I mean? But every guy in love is a pussy.
You have to be. You have to be.
Every guy, of course, and that's what it is. So the day you realize, I'm gonna get married, that's the day you said, I'm gonna be a pussy. Let's roll with that.
That's what you say in the church when you say I do. You
I do agree. That's it. Yeah, that's what everyone else says. I do to yourself.
When's the last time you were a pussy?
I was a pussy.
Have you been a pussy?
Do you know what? I haven't. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you why. Because I'm an emotional dude, but my relationships have been.
You've built up some crazy strong barriers in order to get you to where you are now.
Of course. But you know what it is? But you know what it is? Like everybody else that isn't doing what I'm doing isn't like me.
Yeah, no, of course.
So it's one of those things, like all my family members, I'm the only one that turns up alone. Like I don't have kids or I don't have a missus, right? And
that don't faze you, does
it? It only hits home when I'm with my family. Everyone else.
So it is phasing you now.
Yeah.
So now it is.
Of course, because last 2 years I've tried to better myself and bring down some of these barriers that I have.
But bro, maybe it's not your time yet. Maybe what you're doing here is what you're supposed to be doing. It's not for you, it's for the betterment of everyone else in the UK, there for the world.
So that's what my aunt says to me all the time. Yeah. She says to me, don't feel pressure. Bruv, don't feel pressure that everybody's got something and you ain't, because you've got everything somebody else ain't got.
Yeah, bro. And
do you know what I mean?
And I believe that we're all on our own separate missions.
Exactly.
Maybe you're put on earth to do something a little bit
and
different.
I genuinely believe I'm put on earth to do exactly what I'm doing, which is seeking change.
Real talk.
And I can't seek change by complaining and moaning out loud. Yeah. I've just got to be
like everybody else.
That's why I'm happy that when, like I said before, when people go, okay, that's what he's doing. Yeah. Rather than me going, oh man, we need to do this and we need it. And how come? A lot of people have done that. It hasn't worked. Yeah. I gotta be smart. I gotta be quiet. I gotta be like, okay, that's what he's doing. You gotta catch everybody off guard when you're trying to make something happen, because people will block it once they know. Some people, the people that don't want that change, they'll block it once they know. When it's done silently, you get further. And that's why, again, I don't like to talk about anything that's not been done.
Yeah, that was interesting. You said it in a lift up on the way up. I was like, what you been up to? And you're like, I haven't done press for ages. And I was like, yeah, well, Kojo ain't press. It's just me and my interview. But you said still, you don't talk about shit unless you've done it. And unless it's out there, Or unless you know it's completed
Unless it's
to your standard.
unless it's completed. I can put things out there because sometimes I think you give people hope when they know a little bit of what you're trying to do. I don't think you should block yourself from people 100%. So I might, for example, I'll be like, okay, well, I tweeted the other day, "Take Me Out" is great, but wait till my dating show comes out.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Wait till my dating show comes out. That's when you're gonna see.
When's that? Is that going to be online?
I've got 3 channels interested. Not even online.
Beautiful.
Not even online. Like we've done all our online bits now. We've done them. It's like if you're going into people saying you want to do films and you want to do TV, show them something.
Yeah.
We're showing them Wasteman Diaries. We're showing them West End Girls. That's it.
Don't talk about an idea. Press play.
There you go.
Road talk.
There you go. So we've done that now. There's no. We showed them 2 different spectrums of how we can deliver. They both look amazing in terms of the quality of them. Whether you like the concepts or not, that's an opinion. But no one can say they don't look great. So we've shown them what we can do with nothing. We've shown them concepts, 2 different things, one hard and gritty, another one just bright and colourful. Nothing else is coming online from us. Everything else is television or film because we're ready now. Yeah. We've taken time to learn our craft and be great. And when you say, what have you done? Hold that. And look at the comments and look at the views. This ain't 5-minute videos. This is half an hour, 15 minutes. This is people having to sit there and watch something while 8 videos are saying, watch me. Yeah. That's for me, that's what I get gratitude from. So when I go to these meetings, don't tell me there is an audience for it. Don't tell me that this is a unique thing. Look at the people that are watching this. Look at the comments. You've already answered your own question. Conversations become quicker when you show them something. So no more online stuff. So yeah, I've got a new dating show idea, and I sent it over to people just before Christmas. 3 channels want it.
Well done, bro. That's it.
So now it's like, okay, who do we go to?
Yeah. Now it's the bartering stage.
There you go. And that's all I want to do. When you got people arguing about what they want,
you got some power, man.
That's it. That's the main thing for me. So yeah, man. This year is just literally shopping ideas. We've got.
Yeah. And I saw you
many.
said about this year's just pure focus.
Because it's smart work now.
Vision. Yeah.
Hard work's been done, man. You can't be working hard. I don't want to be 30, 40 years old talking about, oh yeah, man, I work. I ain't working hard no more.
You've done it.
No, I don't have, no.
You're going to be working hard in a different way, though.
Listen, but I'm just working smart, bruv.
Yeah.
I am working smart. That is me from now on. Nothing else. I've done the grind. I've been in the trenches. I've done all the caveman shows and all the other stuff. Anything you see me on is because I wanted to do it. Not because I had to.
Beat down a door.
Bruv, I've done. Right.
Self. I know, bro. If there's anyone that's been witnessing it from the early days, I'm one of those.
No, I appreciate that. So for now, it's definitely it's all about smart work,
We've
man.
been going for like hour and a bit. And
yeah, that's what happens.
Breath on the microphone and it's just
2 hours and 10 seconds.
This is the longest interview so far, bro. But time has flown. Thank you very much.
No worries, man.
For putting up with me and inspiring me, brother. And
No,
I don't think you'd ever need this, but if I can ever help with anything, I'm here.
Trust me, like people say that to me a lot, and I always call them at the right time.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Definitely.
Yeah, if our paths ever cross again.
You mad man.
Keep up the good work, bro.
Thank you very much,
Love,
Reuben.
man.
Take care, man.
So boom, see, exactly what I told you. The guy has done a lot and he's got a great mindset and he's on one hell of a mission. I want to apologise for my lack of sound in that interview. Like a bit of what can I compare myself to? I don't know. A cabbage. Let's just go with cabbage. Yeah, I wasn't actually positioning my mouth to the mic. Oh God, that sounds terrible. But you know what I mean. Yeah, man, I'm just getting used to this stuff. Forgive me. But to check out Kojo's stuff, it's at official Kojo on Twitter, and all his links and everything are there. If you like this interview, like I said, please do share it, because the aim of this show is to uplift more of us to move towards what we need to be doing, what we know deep down we need to be doing. So forward it on to check out more of this stuff. It's soundcloud.com/Reuben, spelled like Reuben-Christian, REUBEN-Christian, spelt like the religion. Yeah, guys, attack those fears, get up and do you, my friends. Till next time, take care, peace. Find out what you're here to do and go and do that. Because before you know it, you're gonna be dead. Aren't you? And you know that I know that you know it's the truth. Come on, get up, do you, please. Thank you.